News Alert.
And I want to start with this breaking news. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office is searching for a missing teenager this morning. News 2's Jaxie Pigeon joins us live from Hendersonville with the latest efforts. Multiple emergency crews right now searching for this teen.
That's right, Mark. It's all hands on deck here. As you can see behind me, there's so many agencies. I was just told that we have THP, TBI, City of Hendersonville, their teams there, as well as here we're at the Shackle Island Fire Department. They believe he was last seen at midnight walking out of his house. Because of his mental illness, they do believe that he walked out, but they have nothing to verify that just yet. They've been going door to door. Now, they do think that he had a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants on last night as well. We're going to pull up a picture of him really quick so you can see Sebastian. He's described as 5 feet 5 inches tall. He was weighing about 120 pounds and has dirty blonde hair. And then we have a map here coming up with the deputies searching several miles in this area of Beach and Shackle Island near Hollow Pike. Like I said, they are going door to door, and they believe he did walk out of his house because of his mental illness. They said he likes to fish. We're learning more. I just got that update just a few minutes ago, so we'll keep you updated as we learn more here. But if you do see Sebastian Rogers or know anything about where he may be, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. That number is 615-451-3838. For now, in Hendersonville, Jaxie Pigeon, News 2.
News 2 breaking news alert.
We're following this breaking news out of Hendersonville this morning, where a multi-agency search is underway. They're looking for a missing teenager. Now, News 2's Jaxie Pigeon has been live there from the scene with what we know so far. And Jaxie, this is considered an endangered child alert. Tell us about the search.
Sure. Yes, there's multiple agencies here. THP, we have also Sumner County Sheriff's Office and also volunteer fire departments, multiple agencies. Like I said, all hands on deck here. But what we know so far is that it is Sebastian Rogers. He's 15 years old. And I'm going to bring in Chief Deputy Eric Craddock here. He's with Sumner County with a little bit more information, all the details that we know so far.
So first, this is a fluid situation, so all these details are subject to change at any time. What we know so far is we responded about 6:30 this morning to a missing juvenile. He was last seen sometime briefly before midnight last night. Sebastian is thought to be in some black sweatpants with a white stripe, black sweatshirt. He does have a form of autism. All the information we have currently leads us to believe that he has walked off from the house. We do have multiple agencies here. We have the Highway Patrol, we have TBI, Hendersonville first responders responded. We've got people on standby in case this goes on for several hours. Our goal here is really to get Sebastian home safely.
Absolutely. And also for the pictures that we have, if you have them up right now, we have him at 5'5", 120 pounds with dirty blonde hair. And then, of course, the search is really extensive. It's not just this area, but beach area is what you were considering. But tell us about the areas that you're looking at.
Right now we have area assets searching a two-mile perimeter in a circular motion. We have Highway Patrol out on the roads. There's really no limit to the search. He's got quite a head start on us, last known to be seen last night at midnight. So right now we're focusing on this area, and we'll start expanding the search area as we go.
Thank you so much. Well, if you do have any information on where Sebastian is, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. For now, in Hendersonville, Jaxie Pigeon, News 2.
Also right now, the search is on for a missing and endangered teenager. It continues in Sumner County for now the 11th hour. Let's go to News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry. She's live in Sumner County at the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department. And Caitlin, Sumner County Sheriff's Department telling you the sooner they find Sebastian, of course, the better.
Yeah, Mark, of course, everyone is out searching for Sebastian right now. That search has maintained a 2-mile radius, but once that is cleared, officials tell me they do plan to expand that. And as the day progresses, more and more crews have come out to help with the search for Sebastian. So far, I've just seen a couple of agencies, just to mention a few of them: Metro Fire, State Troopers, TBI, City of Hendersonville, First Responders, Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Metro Urban Search and Rescue are all assisting. At this time, we know 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was last seen around midnight in his home wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants with a white stripe, possibly barefoot right now. He does not have a history of running away, but is known to wander and is autistic. Officials with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office Officials tell me if you want to help the search efforts, check your home surveillance video for any sighting of Sebastian.
The way the search is being conducted. Now, a search party may come at a later time. What they can do right now is search their Ring doorbell cameras or their Blink cameras or whatever surveillance video they've got, especially if they're in this area. If they see Sebastian, call the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838 and let us know.
As stated, you are asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office if you see any or know anything about Sebastian's whereabouts. Again, that number is 615-451-3838. And as always, you can visit our website, WKRN.com, for updates on this story. Live in Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
And breaking tonight, law enforcement racing to find a missing teenage boy, extending their search well past sunset.
It has been almost 24 hours since anyone has seen 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. The TBI issued an endangered child alert this afternoon. Now, several agencies have been out combing the area around Sebastian's Sumner County home, and they haven't stopped yet. News 2's Sarah Smith is live tonight in the beach area of Hendersonville. And Sarah, I know it's dark out there, but the search crews, they continue their work.
Bob and Haley, it's all hands on deck at this point. This community out searching in their cars, ATVs, and on foot for Sebastian. We know Sebastian is autistic. Investigators say he was last seen in the beach, Shackle Island area. He's likely wearing a black sweatshirt and pants. He's 5'5" and about 120 pounds. They have a helicopter up right now searching the area, and a dive team was here this afternoon checking bodies of water. Deputies also want you to check your Ring doorbell cameras or security cameras in case you see Sebastian. Now we're told that his family is at home, hoping for the best. Live in Hendersonville, Sarah Smith, News 2.
A multi-state agency search is continuing overnight in Hendersonville as they work to find a missing teenager. Jaxie Pigeon is joining us live there with the crews as they have worked through the night to search for this boy.
Well, Nikki, Tennessee Highway Patrol, TBI, Sumner County Sheriff's Office. You got right here, we're at the Shackle Island Fire Rescue here. Those volunteer firefighters, as well as City of Hendersonville officials, are all helping out in this search to find 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. He has been missing for just over 24 hours now, they believe. He was last seen at his house around midnight Sunday night. This is the area around Beach and Shackle Island near Long Hollow Pike. Sebastian is described to be 5'5", weighing 120 pounds with dirty blonde hair. He's most likely wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. It's a bit quieter out here right now than it was when I was out here Monday morning, when you could see and hear a plane, helicopter, and drones all trying to locate Sebastian. Now, the TBI did issue an endangered child alert. They believe he walked out of his house and is unable to find his way back without help because he's autistic, which is why they are concerned for his safety. Now, the TBI said those who live around the Beach High School area along Long Hollow Pike may want to check any outbuildings, garages, and cars in case Sebastian used any of those as hiding places. We'll continue to keep you updated throughout the morning if we learn more. And Sebastian, if you see him anywhere, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. For now, in Hendersonville, Jaxie Pigeon, News 2.
Breaking news now as additional crews arrive to help with the search for a missing 15-year-old. News 2's Jaxie Pigeon is live now in Sumner County, where search teams are looking this morning. Jaxie, what can you tell us at this point?
Well, Nicole, I've been out here with Jerry, our photographer, since this morning at 3:30, and we were over at the command post for that whole time until just recently we decided to drive around a little bit, and we stumbled upon this area that's been under construction. I'm going to have him pan so you can see. We saw search and rescue teams searching around these houses, going in and out with a dog trying to chase down and track down Sebastian Rogers. Now, several agencies, like you said, are helping out with this search, some even as far as Collierville, more than 3 hours away. Officials say Sebastian has autism and likes to get into small spaces and hide under his bed. So for those who are near this search area around Beach High School, along Long Hollow Pike, you may want to check outbuildings, garages, cars, even under decks in case Sebastian used any of these as hiding places. People are doing just that. I even just saw one resident check under his hot tub cover. So people are are definitely all trying to help out with this search. Again, description of Sebastian. He's 5'5", weighs 120 pounds with dirty blonde hair, most likely wearing a black sweatsuit and glasses. So if you do see Sebastian, or if you know where he may be, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. But for now, in Hendersonville, Jaxie Pigeon, News 2.
Update on the search at this point. How does it compare to yesterday?
Today is what I'll describe as a redundant search. We have mapped out more search grids, sent responders out to specific grids. They search that area, they clear it, they come back, they get another search grid, and they go back out. Yesterday, for lack of a better term, we threw everything that we possibly could throw at this. I'll show you a picture of the map in just a moment. We absolutely obliterated covering the area where Sebastian could have walked off to. Obviously, there's a litany of things that could have happened to Sebastian, and none of them we can presume are credible or validate yet. So we're doing everything we can. Every lead that we get, we're following. If someone calls and says, hey, I think we saw him by the pond, we're going to the pond and checking. Nothing's off the table at this point.
Okay, and I guess the priority has it's moved from a 2-perimeter search, right, 2-mile perimeter, to now how wider?
We're at about 5-mile width right now. We keep, as we clear the areas, we keep expanding. We do get calls and tips from time to time, and we take some of the teams we have here, respond to that area, and either corroborate or invalidate the tip.
Okay, great.
And we know that you guys earlier were saying that not discouraging the public from coming out. Is that still the same message now?
So right now we have enough first responders on the ground here that we can communicate with, that have the same training. They have the apps that we use to track, and there's a litany of reasons that it's important right now. There may come a time when we call on the public to come out and help us search, but right now we have plenty of first responders on scene. The best thing the public can do to help us is keep sharing it on social media. If you see something, say something, call the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838 and check your home surveillance video. Just check. If you see something, call us. We'll come out and look. I think that's going to be what breaks the case, is somebody's home surveillance video seeing something.
Okay. And at what point are people going to be coming out and invited to come out in those searches? I know a lot of people are itching to come out and help.
They absolutely are. Sumner County is the greatest place on earth. I truly believe that. We have the absolute greatest citizens here, but we also have the best law enforcement relationships in the county. We've got people from across the state here, the TBI, Tennessee Highway Patrol, Hendersonville's here, Gallatin sent people. We have plenty of first responders. So my urge to the public right now would be to check your home videos and stay rested, because when the call comes, we'll put it out on social media, and that's when we'll need you to come.
Okay. And then did you want to speak as well? Okay, I'm going to get you mic'd up really fast.
Go ahead. In the meantime, when you approach this search, is it different looking for a child than an adult?
It's definitely different looking for a child with autism. Yesterday we consulted with someone in the first responder world who does emergency management, who also has children who are autistic, and she kind of laid it out for us, some things that I didn't understand or comprehend at first. She gave us a lot of tips and tricks, so we've had several calls from people with autistic relatives that have told us, hey, have you thought about this? And listen, there's nothing off the table. I don't care how crazy it sounds. If it's going to help me find Sebastian and get him home safe to his family, I'm going to do it.
And what are some of those considerations that go into looking for a child with autism?
Some of the things that he likes, what he's familiar with. We know that Sebastian likes cats. We were told that his favorite song was Eye of the Tiger. We've tried playing that to just kind of calm him and let him know we're here to help him. I'm sure that he could see what's going on here and be intimidated, but if he sees this newscast, I want him to know, Sebastian, come out. We're here to help you. We just want to get you home safe.
And at this point, have you guys ruled out any indication of foul play?
I won't say that we've ruled out any indication of foul play, but I will say that the family has been nothing but cooperative with us. Nothing but cooperative. There's no indication of foul play at the moment.
Okay. How have those tips been of people coming in and offering up any information? Have you guys had any leads or any information that you can kind of share with that?
We've had several tips. One of the tips was that he was sighted off of Newman's Trail off Long Haul Pike. We actually, when we got that tip, we sent a team out. We made contact with who they thought was Sebastian, and it was not. Again, that's a great tip. It could have been. So if somebody sees something, call us. Let us know.
And do you guys know, I know you guys were checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
All right. And how's the family doing? Just to ask, I'm checking in with them.
Oh, I cannot imagine the struggle that the family is going through right now. I'm a dad. Director Widener's a dad. I don't know how they're handling it. I couldn't survive if something happened to my kids.
Managing all of this, what's been going through your guys' mind, just kind of juggling all these people and having people come in from outside agencies as well? I mean, what's been going through your mind?
Well, I think Director Widener said it best. Every time we debrief and talk about what we've done, we're asking, what ideas do you guys have? Because, I think I'm a pretty good law enforcement officer, but I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and I know that. So if someone's got an idea, and we've had some pretty good ideas come up, and we're gonna try everything we can. So keeping an open mind and doing anything we can to find Sebastian.
And then I also am told that he might be on medications as well due to his being on the autistic spectrum. What is that kind of looking like, and is that kind of upping the danger of the situation as well?
It definitely increases the volatility of the situation. The medicine was there, obviously to treat his autism, so how he responds to that once the medicine is out of his system is really not my expertise, but I do know that it's going to have a negative effect on him. So it definitely is increasing.
And then as people approach him, if they see him, are they advised to move slowly or call you guys first, or I guess what's the recommendation?
I would definitely say call us first. If you're close enough to talk to Sebastian, talk in a calm, slow voice. Let him know that you're not there to hurt him. You're there to help him, and hopefully you can build a rapport with him until we can get there and bring him back to his family.
And about how many agencies are helping with this search?
Oh, we've got at least 10 agencies here. Yesterday, and Director Widener.
I'm Ken Widener, KENWEIDNER, Director, Sumner County Emergency Management Agency. So yesterday we had multiple agencies. We had 220 searchers on the ground, and we bring them in and they go through operations and they get assigned a search area. So we're using a search program to track them, and they lay tracks from their cell devices, and we know where they're at, and they complete those search areas. They come back and they get reassigned, or we reassign them when they're in the field. So today we'll get a count on that, but I'd say we're over 150 searchers on the ground today, and multiple agencies, and THP helicopter, and I'm not sure what the chief went over, Metro's helicopter, TBI fixed wing, over 10 drones. We've got 12 K9 teams here, 8 mounted units yesterday, horses yesterday, and 10 here today. So we're covering as much ground as we can, and we keep expanding that search area. And we have pounded the area, the neighborhood that he went missing from, and the neighborhood adjacent, and we keep expanding that out.
And with the anticipation of the temperature dropping tomorrow and a chance for storms, is that going to change the search, or is it going to have any impact on his ability to survive?
We're concerned about the weather because we don't know exactly what he's dressed in, and we could have some flurries tomorrow. And the storms, so the wet, and you lose body temperature 30 times faster when you're wet than when you're dry in the air or in water. And so we're concerned about that, and the chance that we could have flurries tomorrow and those dropping temperatures. So we're continuing to work with drones and FLIR, and we've actually utilized tactical teams, SWAT teams, the county ERT, and night vision that our operators have, and they've been in the field for many hours at nighttime.
Yeah, that was my next question. How do you guys operate these searches at night? I know last night it got dark pretty soon, and it's going to get dark pretty soon here today again. How does those searches go in, and how do you keep those effective?
Yeah, flashlights, FLIR, and night vision. Yeah.
I'll tell you, we do change our tactics based on the weather. So last night we did that. Not ready yet to describe exactly how we did that, because we may have to apply that again tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And then at this point, what you were kind of talking about it earlier with the body kind of going into shock with those low temperatures. And you guys have originally said that 2 mile perimeter, just because that's as far as usually someone will walk. But are you expecting at this point he'll be tired, exhausted, sleeping? I mean, Like, I guess what are you kind of estimating here?
Teenagers are resilient. We're really hoping he has enough clothes on to stay warm, and we think that when he gets fatigued, he should rest. And he doesn't apparently doesn't sleep a lot at night, and he's more active at night, and is, you know, probably sleeps a little more in the day. So we hope he's laying down and resting, and we just want to. We don't want him to outwalk the search, and the ground that he can cover on foot. We're working with that, and we're putting that into consideration when we create the areas that we search.
And then who's helping out with the aerial searches as well?
There's multiple agencies. TBI's helped, Metro Nashville's helped, Tennessee Highway Patrol's helped, our drone team, North Star has helped, Wilson County is going to come help with some aerial coverage. The Sumner County Emergency Management drone team has been phenomenal. There's really no limit. If there's a resource out there that can help us, we've called and we've asked for it.
Pretty much every agency in the county, and then counties from across the state, quite honestly. And you know, with the plea, and I think I heard Chief talking about that earlier. You know, we have a lot of people wanting to volunteer, and we are really looking to put trained personnel on the ground that are familiar with search and operations and have the ability to perform limited rescue operations. And we've got teams on standby if we have a rescue situation. And so there's a lot that goes into that, and we can track these personnel a lot easier. So.
Are divers still on scene?
They're on standby.
They're on standby.
They're on standby.
Is there anything else that you guys want to add that I announced today?
Continue to share the social media page. If you see something, say something. Check your home surveillance video. Those are really the huge things that the public can do to help us right now find Sebastian.
So we had a child walk up, a lady walk up today with a child who's autistic. They're from Watertown, and the little boy wanted to tell us where he thought Sebastian could be, and he told me very forthright where he thought he would go if he were lost. That he would go towards creeks, and he would go behind buildings, and the different things that he would do. And he told his mom this morning that he wanted to come up here and tell us where he thought Sebastian might be.
We do have breaking news. This is coming in from Sumner County. The TBI just issued an Amber Alert for a missing boy. This is 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Now, we've been following the search for him since yesterday morning in the Shackle Island area. He is autistic with glasses, dirty blonde hair. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants. More than 150 people are part of this search team. We will be there live coming up on News 2 at 4.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
And we need to start with that breaking news right now. An Amber Alert has just been issued for missing Hendersonville teenager Sebastian Rogers. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry is in the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department area. Caitlin, crews are urgently trying to find him before this colder weather gets into our area. What's the latest on the search tonight?
Absolutely, Mark. And as the sun begins to set out here, crews are preparing those drones and night vision to continue that search for Sebastian Rogers. As of right now, the search is over 24 hours. They have been searching for Sebastian Rogers, and it is an all-hands-on-deck effort to assist in this search. This afternoon, there are over 150 people in the search party. Crews assisting are TBI, Hendersonville Police, Goodlettsville Police, Sumner County EMS, and Rutherford County Fire and Rescue, just to name a few of the many. Officials tell me Sebastian Rogers is an autistic 15-year-old with glasses, dirty blonde hair, and was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants around midnight Sunday night. One of the risks is that Rogers was on medications.
Definitely increases the volatility of the situation. The medicine was there, obviously, to treat his autism. So how he responds to that once the medicine is out of his system is really not my expertise, but I do know that it's going to have a negative effect on him.
The Sumner County Sheriff's Office is urging all nearby residents to search their garages, barns, any open spaces that Sebastian could be hiding, as well as checking that home surveillance video, too, for any sighting of it. And then, as well, you can visit our website, WKRN.com, for that tip line number to call in. And as always, we'll continue to bring you live updates from the scene as the afternoon progresses. Live in Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
We wanted to know the difference between an endangered child alert and then an Amber Alert, which is what just came down for Sebastian. Now, we researched on the TBI's website. An endangered child alert is issued when there's a concern for a child's safety. The TBI issues an Amber Alert when it believes a child is in imminent danger.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Thank you, Mark. That breaking news tonight, an Amber Alert now issued for a missing Sumner County teen, missing for 2 days. And moments ago, the TBI released new pictures of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers.
Authorities are ramping up their efforts as cold weather is set to move into our area. Caitlin Quisenberry has been following this story and joins us from the search headquarters live tonight. Caitlin.
Haley, as the sun sets and the temperatures begin to drop, officials are concerned, especially with that expected wind, possibility of flurries and rain on the horizon. A representative from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and Emergency Management Agency tell me they aren't sure if he is still wearing the black sweatpants and sweatshirt he was last seen in and do not know if he will be able to stay dry and warm in that time. But at this time, the search tactics are expected to shift depending on the weather. 15-year-old Sebastian is autistic, 5'5", with 30 blonde hair. Authorities say the search perimeter has been moved from 2 to 5 miles and could be expanded as they clear more surroundings.
Apparently doesn't sleep a lot at night, and he's more active at night, and is, probably sleeps a little more in the day. So we hope he's laying down and resting, and we just want to. We don't want him to outwalk the search, and the ground that he can cover on foot. We're working with that, and we're putting that in consideration when we create the areas that we search.
If you do see Sebastian, you are asked to call authorities and speak to Sebastian in a gentle voice. We'll link that number on our website, WKRN.com. Additionally, the public is being asked not to create those search parties and allow the professionals to do their job at this point in those search crews. But they are being asked and encouraged to check their property, check that home surveillance video for any sighting of Sebastian at this point. Live in Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
The TBI just released these new pictures of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. An Amber Alert was issued this afternoon for the missing Sumner County teen. Welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Bob Mueller. As the search moves into the night, there are increased concerns about the missing teen's safety as strong storms are on the horizon. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry joins us live tonight in Hendersonville at the command center for the search. Caitlin.
Bob, the chief deputy of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office tells me they have been searching nonstop for Sebastian Rogers at this point. They got a tip yesterday allegedly saying that Sebastian was spotted off of Newman's Trail. Authorities immediately went to search the area to no avail. But as the search continues, TBI, Goodlettsville Police, Sumner County EMS, and Nashville Fire and Rescue continue to work to find 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. The public is being asked to not create search parties. Instead, keep an eye out for Sebastian and call if they do see something. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office described today's search as a redundant search, expanding the 2-mile perimeter to 5 miles. Search party officials say they are driving around playing his favorite music.
We were told that his favorite song was Eye of the Tiger. We tried playing that to just kind of calm him and let him know we're here to help him. I'm sure that he could see what's going on here and be intimidated, but if he sees this newscast, I want him to know, Sebastian, come out. We're here to help you. We just want to get you home safe.
We will post the number for that tip line on our website, WKRN.com. You can also visit our website for more updates and more recent updates on this case as the night progresses. Live in Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Back now to that breaking news. There's now a statewide Amber Alert for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers.
The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says the boy was last seen near his Hendersonville home just after midnight on Monday. Now the promise of bad weather could complicate the search. News 2's Sarah Smith is in the beach area of Hendersonville where crews are still gathered. She's joining us live from there tonight. Sarah.
Law enforcement is still here on scene, Haley, but they're racing against the clock because we're expecting some weather. Day 2, searching for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Crews looking by helicopter, boat, and on foot.
We absolutely obliterated covering the area where Sebastian could have walked off to.
The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says Sebastian, who's autistic, last seen leaving his home just after midnight Monday. The search in the beach area of Hendersonville expanded from 2 miles to 5 miles. More than 200 people searching the area.
We just got a process that we're going through to eliminate each search area as we go along and expand as needed.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issuing an Amber Alert today based on additional investigative information. The severe weather expected overnight, potentially making the search more difficult.
We're expecting some storms, and then we're really concerned about the colder temps and the potential for some sleet or maybe a little bit of snow if the moisture hangs around.
Adding to the urgency, the sheriff's office says Sebastian is without his medication.
It definitely increases the volatility of the situation. The medicine was there, obviously to treat his autism, so how he responds to that once the medicine is out of his system is really not my expertise, but I do know that it's going to have a negative effect.
Are going door to door looking for clues. The whole community remains hopeful Sebastian makes it home safe.
Obviously, there's a litany of things that could have happened to Sebastian, and none of them we can presume are credible or validate yet. So we're doing everything we can. Every lead that we get, we're following.
And police are urging you to check your property and your home security cameras for any sign of Sebastian. Live in Hendersonville, Sarah Smith, News 2.
The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers is now on day 3. Peyton Kennedy is live at the command post now in Hendersonville with a closer look at what's been going on this morning. Peyton.
Yeah, Nicole, day 3 is underway here. We'll give you a look at the command post activity happening right now this morning. And of course, you can understand emotions are running high as it was pouring down rain here this morning and the temperature has dropped significantly. We want to show you this map as well that details the pathway hundreds of law enforcement members have taken scouring the area for a sign of Sebastian. They've used helicopters, drones. This morning I saw crews leave on ATVs. Plus there's been horses from Hendersonville Police with more from the Metro PD reportedly on the way. Sebastian is 15 years old, has autism. He's 5'5", 120 pounds. He was reported missing Monday morning, last seen in a black sweatsuit. Now we're seeing a number of community organizations reaching out to help law enforcement agencies, including Live Love Nashville, Sumner County Fire Buffs, and Long Hollow Church, who have been feeding folks here at the command post. We actually just saw a couple trucks come up with some food deliveries as well. Now Long Hollow Church held a prayer vigil last night and have offered their campus, which is just down the street from here, as a second command post if needed.
There's some things that we can't do. We're not trained to be on the front lines of that search, but what we can do well is to love those who are. And so that was kind of one of our first steps forward, was just to come alongside first responders. Many of them, they're a part of our community and we care about that. So, one thing we can do is put some warm food in them and just come alongside and be a support.
They've also turned over their surveillance footage to the police department in case anything was caught on those cameras. You are also encouraged to check your home's security cameras. Turn that over to police if you see anything. And of course, if you know anything, give the sheriff a call or call the TBI. Live in Hendersonville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
All right, Marcus. The search for a missing Sumner County teen now in a third morning. The TBI did issue that Amber Alert yesterday. Peyton Kennedy is at the search command post in Hendersonville for us.
Neil, exactly. You may have received that Amber Alert on your phone yesterday afternoon or seen the billboards over the interstate. It's all for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. And it's a heartbreaking development because this does mean that law enforcement now has reason to believe that Sebastian has either been abducted or is in serious danger of injury or death. And it has been an all-hands-on-deck effort. On Monday, the Sumner County EMA director says there were over 200 searchers on the ground. plus canines, helicopters, and drones. There's been help from about 24 agencies with rescue and dive teams on standby. We're told nothing is off the table. They've even been playing his favorite song, Eye of the Tiger, along the search to try and soothe Sebastian. Now, they've been scouring a 5-mile radius in the beach and Shackle Island area. A reminder, Sebastian Rogers is described as 5'5", 120 pounds, dirty blonde hair, last seen wearing a black sweatsuit. We're told he does have autism, is drawn to small spaces, and is active at night.
I've actually been allowed into some neighborhood Facebook pages, and we're following those and communicating with them, and they've got watches going on in the neighborhoods. A lot of people, review your camera footage and see if you get someone that matches Sebastian's description, and call 451-3838, and we'll come look at it.
You're also encouraged to share his description on your social media pages. If you see anything, know anything, you can call that number for the Sheriff's Department or call the TBI. Live in Hendersonville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
Across Middle Tennessee have flooded Sumner County to find a missing 15-year-old boy. Thank you for joining us for News 2 at 3. I'm Mark Kelly. Here's his photo. Sebastian Rogers disappeared Sunday night. The TBI upgraded his case to an Amber Alert last night. Now, that means agents think he is in imminent danger. Let's go to News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry. She's live at the search party headquarters right there at the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department. So, Caitlin, you had a chance to speak with people who just want to help in any way they can with this search.
Mark, that's right. I've spoke with a couple of people that have come up to me and asked, how can we help? We want to help with the search. But for now, authorities are saying if you want to help, you can check those home surveillance videos and check your property for any sighting of Sebastian. They do not want people going and searching out by themselves for the time being. So far today, authorities have put out a call for as many mounted patrols as possible, and Hendersonville Police, Wilson County Sheriff's Office have responded to that call with extra horses. Also out in the field today are drones, helicopters, and all-terrain vehicles. Officials also tell me the emergency response crews need more snacks and drinks. They ask people to leave donations at the Premier Center on Volunteer Drive to avoid traffic around headquarters.
To just be able to serve these people who are putting in hours and hours and hours of very strenuous work. They're getting little sleep right now. I talked to one individual who said he's maybe had 2.5 hours sleep in the last 3 days.
Yep. And the sense in the community is everybody just wants to find Sebastian. And that's what I think obviously the goal is, and the common mission is, everybody cares about this little boy that most of us have never even met before. And they just want to bring him home to his family.
Here's Sebastian picture one more time. He's 15 years old with dirty blonde hair, glasses, and is autistic. If you know anything about Sebastian, you're asked to call TBI or the Sumner County Sheriff's Office out here. We have those numbers linked on our website at WKRN.com. Live in Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Now, News 2 at 5.
Thank you, Mark, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers has been missing in Sumner County for 3 days now, and we have been following that story very closely. The TBI upgraded his case to an Amber Alert last night, meaning agents think he is in imminent danger. Agencies from all over the state have come out to assist.
News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry joins us live from the search headquarters at the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department. Caitlin, this is a massive search effort.
Absolutely. So far today, authorities have put out a call for more police-mounted patrols as possible, and Hendersonville Police and Wilson County Sheriff's Office have responded to that call, bringing in extra horses and people for that. And also out in the field here today have been drones, helicopters, and all-terrain vehicles. Sebastian Rogers is 15 years old with autism. He was last seen at his home on Stafford Court around midnight Sunday, wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants, possibly barefoot. Two of the many concerns officials officials are facing now is Sebastian has been off of his medication since going missing, and the temperatures are expected to continue to drop below freezing as the night goes on. I will say I've spoken to a couple residents out here who really just want to help in the search. Officials say if you do want to help search your property and your home surveillance video for any sighting of Sebastian, you can also donate packaged snacks and beverages to emergency crews working around the clock to locate Sebastian.
To go out in the woods, in the trees, and that to search, so they just need snacks, things they can put in their backpacks and take. So the need became the water, Gatorade, and snacks. So I decided after a conversation with them, it's always better to get the community away from the command center so they can do their job. But this community is so helpful and want to be involved that they just want to come, and hopefully they can help. But we just decided to open here to kind of give the community a place that they can bring things.
If you are able to bring snacks or drinks, drop them off at the Premier Center on Volunteer Drive. It's open until 6 and will reopen tomorrow morning at 8. If you aren't able to make those hours, he says you can leave the donations under the awning. And as the night continues, there will be a community prayer vigil held at Northfield Church in Gallatin at 6. All are welcome to attend. News 2 will be there bringing you updates as well. And we'll continue to be here at the headquarters as this search progresses. Live in Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Breaking right now, people are gathering for a vigil for a missing teenager. No one has seen 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers in days. A massive days-long search has uncovered more questions than answers. Welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Bob Mueller. We have just confirmed the sheriff's office has called the FBI to help with this search, but agents aren't on the ground yet. Sebastian Rogers disappeared just after midnight Monday. In the days since, crews have scoured parts of Hendersonville, but still there's no sign of Sebastian.
News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry is live in that search area, and Caitlin, crews are searching by foot, by air, even on horse.
Haley, I just spoke with the Emergency Management Agency, the director of that agency. He says they have expanded the perimeter and he appreciates the people driving around and looking for Sebastian. He says he also appreciates those same people checking their property and looking at any possible hiding spots and checking that home surveillance video as well for any sighting of the teen. The director of EMA also says today the focus remains as an effort to survey the landscape via drone, all-terrain vehicles, and helicopter. A call for extra mounted patrol was answered by several agencies, including TWRA, Dixon County, and Metro. Of course, the major concern the EMA director says has been the below freezing temperatures expected tonight. If you do want to help, nonprofit Sumner County Fire Buffs needs extra hands helping to serve response teams hot food. And one Hendersonville resident is working with emergency crews from the Premier Center on Volunteer Drive to bring in much needed snacks and beverages to have on hand when crews are out searching. He tells me he knows Hendersonville residents want to help just as much as he does.
It's home. You know, anything can happen anywhere at any time. You would hope to think that it wouldn't, but it does. And so, you know, it's in our backyard that this little boy needs us. And so this is a time that all the prayers and everything are needed, and the first responders need the help to keep their energy up, to keep the search up, because we're going home and going to bed. They're not.
To reiterate, be on the lookout for Sebastian Rogers. He is 15 years old with autism. Sebastian was last seen at his home on Stafford Court around midnight Sunday, wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants, possibly barefoot. He has been off his medications since going missing. Officials say if you do see Sebastian, you are asked to call TBI or Sumner County Sheriff's Office. That number is linked on our website, WKRN.com. You can also visit our website for any updates on this story. Live in Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Breaking tonight, the FBI is now involved in the search for a missing teenager.
And the sudden cold snap is ratcheting up the urgency as crews race to cover more ground. Search crews, 200 people strong, have spent 3 days scouring the area around 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers' home to no avail. With an active Amber Alert now in effect, the clock is ticking. News 2's Maya Owens joins us live tonight from Hendersonville. Maya, what's the latest?
Well, Bob Haley, tonight the tone has been centered around prayer. Right now, we're outside of the command post for this search, but across Sumner County, there has been an outpouring of support for Sebastian and his family as the days continue to go by and he is still not found. Many people simply are hoping that answers will come soon.
We humble ourselves and we beg that you would rescue Sebastian.
Inside the Northfield Church in Gallatin.
That you would bring him home safely.
It's not a simple prayer.
Father, we are afraid.
But it's one many in Sumner County are saying tonight, hoping 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers will get home safely.
I think initially Monday, some people thought maybe he's doing what Sebastian does, which is hide. I think every kid likes to play hide and seek. But as Monday kind of played out, we realized that something isn't right.
It's been 3 days of searching. After Sebastian went missing late Monday night, now many in Sumner County are simply praying for answers.
To sit with Chris and Katie, to sit with Seth, there's no way to explain what it's like right now.
A family friend in attendance after spending time with Sebastian's parents.
To see them go from the grief that they have to they'll come up with a memory and a smile at the same time. So their strength is there. There's a lot going on. There's so much. You can imagine their phones and their computers, everything's going off at once. But in the stillness, they looked at both of them at the same time today and told me, just tell them thanks for us.
For days, crews have been in the area of Beach and Shackle Island. Tips coming in, but none panning out. Law enforcement now encouraging the public to stay home.
The reason for that is there are already hundreds of professional people who are looking for Sebastian, and they're looking for footprints, they're looking for scents, and the more people that cover those up, the less likelihood that the professionals can find what they're doing.
But one thing they can do is pray.
That he will guard Sebastian, that he will guard Sebastian's family, and that he will give a miracle to our community is what we're asking for.
And Sebastian's family has been waiting at home for his safe return. As law enforcement crews have been working throughout the night, we are told they will be right back here at 7 o'clock in the morning. They are asking anyone who sees Sebastian to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I'm told we have that number there on your screen. As I said tonight, just many prayers throughout the county that he is found soon. Bob, Haley.
The round-the-clock search has not stopped since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was reported missing from his home in Sumner County early Monday morning. Peyton Kennedy is live at the command center in Hendersonville with an update from overnight.
And Nikki, in addition to all of the state and local agencies working tirelessly on this, the chief deputy here in Sumner County says they are now talking with the FBI as well. He says they are doing everything within their power to find Sebastian. I just spoke with the EMA director who says yesterday they scoured about 2,000 miles on foot. The director says typically people will only travel 0.2 of a mile, so they have definitely honed in on that circumference as well as inside his home, but unfortunately, nothing. Aerial crews continue the work overnight, and we're told the ground crews are reporting here again at 7 a.m. this morning. That includes officials on foot, ATV, and horses. We've also seen many community groups come together to support these officials. Anyone who wants to donate food or supplies to them is asked to drop those items off at the Premier Event Center that's at 90 Volunteer Drive in Hendersonville. Prayer vigils have been held the past 2 nights. The EMA director tells me that today they are asking for residents to check any bodies of water on their property. The Sumner County mayor says they recognize people want to do as much as they can, so here is his guidance moving forward today.
If you want to search in your neighborhood, want to search on your property, we really ask that you do it in teams of 2 as we do our aerial searches with the helicopters and the fixed wing planes and the drones. Whenever we see one individual, we see that as a potential lead, and we pour resources into that. So if you're going out in 2s, that helps us in that manner. But we do ask that really you stay out of the search process, and we leave that to the professionals right now.
He says they are working with Sebastian's family as well. We're told Sebastian is 15 years old, 5'5", 120 pounds, and does have autism. He was last seen in a black sweatsuit. If you see anything, know anything, you can call the sheriff's office or the TBI. Live in Hendersonville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers had been reported missing from his home since Monday morning, and the search has been nonstop. Peyton Kennedy is live at the command post now to give us an outlook of what the search efforts have been looking like so far this morning. Peyton.
On the Cal, previously, the community was asked to not interfere with the search efforts, but now the sheriff's office is saying that those who are willing to join the search can do so in pairs. You are asked to avoid coming to this command post, though, so that they can continue staying in touch with official law enforcement agencies. Now, earlier this morning, the EMA director suggested looking to bodies of water for footprints or clues. We saw Hendersonville's mounted patrol officers along a creek in the wooded area behind the command post. We also drove through Sebastian's neighborhood, which is very close to here, and saw the TBI agents walking into wooded areas behind those homes. This morning, I've also seen the TWRA with specialized ATVs, state troopers, Sumner and Wilson County sheriffs, as well as Hendersonville, Gallatin, White House Police, Sumner County EMS, just to name a few. Yesterday, the EMA director says all of the agencies walked a total of 2,000 miles and searched Sebastian's home at least 10 times. The TBI has told us Sebastian's parents are not in a position to speak or share more about him right now, but lead agencies say they will continue searching as long as it takes. Again, a reminder about Sebastian. He is 15 years old, 5'5", 120 pounds. If you know anything, you can contact the sheriff's office or call the TBI. Live in Hendersonville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
We want to get to this breaking news right now. I'm Mark Kelly from the WKRN.com alert desk. We're expecting any moment right now an update on the search for that missing teenager, Sebastian Rogers. Let's listen in live.
Here in a few moments, I'll go through some slides and show you what we've done over the past 4 days of searching. Really wanted to come to the community and ask for your help. We need you to search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us. You can really help us by searching your own property twice a day. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off, and we really need your help to ensure that he is brought home safely.
Okay, and when Chief talks about searching your homes, if you've got a farm, we are aware, we're well aware that the tendency to follow creeks is great, and we've actually done some case studies, some history on calls and searches in the past where young men or young women have traveled to creeks. So we want you to look at creeks. We want you to look at ponds, and if you look at a pond, look for foot tracks around the pond. And then we'll go into when Chief's ready. We're going to go into pictures, and we'll show you our operational periods and the maps that we use to track our searchers. Okay, so this is day one, and all of the rings you see are a fixed wing aircraft, TBI's fixed winged aircraft, and they use a FLIR, and they do a continual circle on a 2-mile ring, and the video quality and the pictures that they produce are amazing. And the lines that you see that are going all over the place, the green and the purple and the blues, those are helicopters, THP Metro. And then all of the lines in the middle, when you draw that in, those are our foot searchers. So in the first 2 days, we logged over 2,000 miles of personnel on foot doing searches in those search areas. If you want to go to the next page. So that's day 2, and you can see we're continuing to expand those search areas, and you'll see clues, you'll see markers. If a searcher finds something, they mark it. We send a detective or detectives to that scene or to that area, And if they find evidence, we haven't found any evidence. And but if they find something that they think is substantial, CID investigates it. Go on to the next day. That's the next day TBI was back. That second day we had really bad weather with rain, and so these are the rings from TBI again, and they did some almost tri-oval type figures when we were looking at particular areas, and they were looking at streams at that time, and a lot of helicopter, and then more ground troops, and then we got one more day, and then today we're expanding west, and you can see those areas that personnel are searching. And so what we do is we get them in, and we've got an app that they utilize, and they create tracks, and you can see the tracks in those sections as they do the search. And we've got several other things going on. We're utilizing drones, K9, and UTVs, ATVs, horses, aircraft, and anything at our disposal to get Sebastian located.
Like Director Widener said, what you didn't see on there was any drone track. The drones aren't tracked on Sartopo. What you didn't see on there were several assets that didn't have the app that day. So what you're seeing is what we know we have tracked. We're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family's been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement and our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there's a child missing that needs our help. So if the public is out there and you have a house close by or not close by, right? Check your property twice a day. If you find something, call us. If you have trail cams out on properties that you hunt, check them. If there's an image that you think could be Sebastian, call us. Anything, any tip that you have, call us. We want to bring Sebastian home.
And when the chief says, even if it's not right here, so I actually spoke to the incident commander of a search operation that happened west of here, and a 14-year-old went missing and was found 9 days later, 6.2 miles from home. So we're looking at, we don't want to go out too far, too fast, but even if you live in Davidson County, if you live in Robertson County, if you live anywhere in Sumner County and adjoining counties that you think he could have made it to your property, search those creeks, streams, tributaries, ponds, barns, outbuildings, vacant homes, anything, any place that you think he could be.
One tip, if you're searching your property, is to search it in pairs. If we have aerial assets up and they see someone walking alone through a field, we're going to deploy resources to make sure that is not Sebastian. Secondly, if you're out searching your field and something happens to you, someone needs to be able to call for help and tend to you while we're on the way to help you. So if you're searching, please search in pairs and be safe.
What's the weather been like to possibly affect the search?
Weather, our primary concern with weather is for Sebastian. So the rain that we got and the cold temperatures yesterday and into last night gave us concern for hypothermia. But for rescuers, we put rain gear on when we go. Our mounted people, we're using a lot of tactical officers at night with FLIR or with night vision. And so our search personnel, the weather does not bother them. They go and they're going to perform the search. We're looking at rain tomorrow. The temperature is going to stabilize a little bit. 245 and 17 are feeding us weather on request, and National Weather Service is working with us every day, sending us information if anything changes. So,
Chief, I know you guys had asked for doorbell cam and surveillance camera. Have you guys been able, since Sunday night, Monday morning, been able to actually put eyes on Sebastian? Has any video actually shown him walking?
We have had several clips that have come in. Several of them we've been able to dispel that's not Sebastian on that clip. We are still working every lead that comes in. So as the video comes in, our detectives, we're working really well alongside the TBI and all of our other law enforcement partners in the region to make sure that we're getting on them just as quickly as possible.
But there hasn't been one video that you guys have had that you said that's
There is not a confirmed sighting of Sebastian on camera.
Gotcha.
Was any of the canines able to pick up on a scent or something that can lead you to maybe a direction where he might have been?
We've done that. We've actually cast the dogs at intersections to see if they take us. And our dogs are scent specific, and we have scent articles from the home, and they have not.
We have gotten some tracks away from the home, and we haven't had anything that leads us to Sebastian, obviously.
You mentioned that you've covered about 2,000 miles, correct? What's the word on the amount of volunteers and people helping?
We'll address that later. We've still got plenty of, and what you got to understand is span of control and manageability. And I know there's a lot of talk out there. You know, you need to get more people out there, but we've got to do it coordinated, and we've got to be able to monitor and ensure the safety of our searchers. So right now we've got so many public safety assets that we can track and we can communicate with, that we are in good shape right now. And we are discussing the possibility of going into volunteers.
We have begun the conversation of coordinating with local volunteer groups. Should we need them, there's a plan in place. What I don't want is to have 1,000 people out in the woods, someone get injured, and now we have to deploy resources to them that should be deployed to get Sebastian home safely. As of right now, I've talked to the FBI, I've talked to world-renowned detectives from the Middle Tennessee area, and every one of them has said we're doing everything that we should be doing. We're doing everything that we can. I'm open to ideas. If someone's got an idea that we're not applying yet, let me know. I'll apply it.
Do you know how many hours, how many miles you guys have clocked in and searched so far?
2,000 by foot the first 2 days. We're not tracking hours now. We'll put all that together. We'll do an after action report. But now we're going through the day, preparing this afternoon for tomorrow. We've got a team that's doing that. We've even got the tax assessor's office working with us on additional mapping for streams and creeks that we want to make sure we're covering. And I'll tell y'all, we're hitting streams and creeks heavy. So that's something we need done is creeks, streams, tributaries checked, because the watershed from the Tyree Springs area coming down in here, one thing I've learned about autism is the stamina, the pain threat, the drive in these men and women, young boys and young girls, is greater than ours, okay? So the particular case in northern Mississippi and West Tennessee, this young man walked until he passed out. And when they got to him, he was laying face down, and they were like, oh my, but he was unconscious. And they've done stories on him. And so that's something we're looking at, and we urge people to get out and check those locations. A lot of farms in Sumner County, a lot of creeks in Sumner County, check them.
I hate to cut you guys off, but I'm really focused on getting Sebastian home, and we need to get back out and make sure we're doing everything we can. I really appreciate you guys being here and covering the story, and as soon as there's an update, I'll let you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, back here at the WKRN.com Alert Desk, you just got the latest update from law enforcement there in Sumner County as the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers now enters day 4, and they continue making that push for property owners in the area to continue searching their own property twice a day looking for Sebastian. At this point, they say Sebastian walked off. The family is cooperating with the investigation. We're going to have much more coming up on News 2 at 3, but now back to your local programming. Sebastian Rogers was last seen February 26 at his home in Hendersonville. This search has been all hands on deck ever since. News 2 Tori Gessner joins us live from the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department. And Tori, you just received some new information from law enforcement 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, Mark, investigators are still treating this situation as if Sebastian Rogers just got up from his home and walked away. There have been no confirmed sightings of him on any surveillance video or doorbell cameras, and canines still have not picked up his scent. Investigators did find tracks leading away from his home, but they say that lead turned up short. Now, we were told that Sebastian is drawn to water, so that's where first responders have been focusing a lot of their efforts today. They went through maps showing just how much ground and air they've covered day to day. The first 2 days, searchers on foot walked more than 2,000 miles and still no sign of Sebastian. Now they're asking you, if you're in Sumner County or even counties like Davidson or Robertson, search your property every day and every night and look for any sign of disturbance.
We're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family has been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there's a child missing that needs our help. So if the public is out there and you have a house close by or not close by, right, check your property twice a day. If you find something, call us. If you have trail cams out on properties that you hunt, check them. If there's an image that you think could be Sebastian, call us. Anything, any tip that you have, call us. We want to bring Sebastian home.
You can hear them pleading with you there. They say it is key, though, that if you are going to search your property, do so in pairs, because they say if they spot one single person alone, they have to draw resources and confirm that it is not Sebastian. It's unclear how long this search will go into tonight, but we'll keep you updated on air and online. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Tori, thank you.
News 2 breaking news alert.
And I want to start with that breaking news alert. No investigative leads going into now day 4 of the search for missing 15-year-old with autism. Thank you for joining me for News 2 at 3. I'm Mark Kelly. Sebastian Rogers was last seen February 26 at his home in Hendersonville. This search has been all hands on deck ever since. News 2's Tori Gessner joins us live from the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department. And Tori, you just received some new information from law enforcement 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, Mark, investigators are still treating this situation as if Sebastian Rogers just got up from his home and walked away. There have been no confirmed sightings of him on any surveillance video or doorbell cameras, and canines still have not picked up his scent. Investigators did find tracks leading away from his home, but they say that lead turned up short. Now, we were told that Sebastian is drawn to water, so that's where first responders have been focusing a lot of their efforts today. They went through maps showing just how much ground and air they've covered day to day. The first 2 days, searchers on foot walked more than 2,000 miles and still no sign of Sebastian. Now they're asking you, if you're in Sumner County or even counties like Davidson or Robertson, search your property every day and every night and look for any sign of disturbance.
We're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family has been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there's a child missing that needs our help. So if the public is out there and you have a house close by or not close by, right, check your property twice a day. If you find something, call us. If you have trail cams out on properties that you hunt, check them. If there's an image that you think could be Sebastian, call us. Anything, any tip that you have, call us. We want to bring Sebastian home.
You can hear them pleading with you there. They say it is key, though, that if you are going to search your property, do so in pairs, because they say if they spot one single person alone, they have to draw resources and confirm that it is not Sebastian. It's unclear how long this search will go into tonight, but we'll keep you updated on air and online. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Well, no confirmed sightings and no leads on day 4 of the search for missing 15-year-old Sumner County boy with autism. Sebastian Rogers disappeared February 26, last seen at his home in Hendersonville. Thank you for joining us for News 2 at 4. I'm Mark Kelly. News 2's Tori Gessner joins us live from the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department with the latest from the agencies. Tori.
Mark, the search for Sebastian Rogers has been all hands on deck, from first responders to the community. We're told Sebastian was drawn to water, so that's where investigators have been hitting hard today. Now, you can see from this drone video, they're scouring creeks like this one, but they again have not found any signs of Sebastian. There have been no confirmed sightings of him on any surveillance video from neighbors and businesses, and the canine searching have not picked up any scent. Today, investigators showed us maps of just how much ground and air they've covered in the past 4 days. One longtime business owner, whose restaurant is just a half a mile from where Sebastian lives, says he has never seen this large of a response in his several decades in the community. What he has seen, though, is how united everyone has become in hopes of finding Sebastian.
Well, they're all pulling in the same direction. You know, that's a big thing. In our country and the community and local government is all split on anything you discuss, except this. And they're not split on this. They're all putting forth effort to find him, and hope everything turns out for the best.
Now investigators are asking community members to search their own properties, but do so in pairs, because they say if you're out searching alone, they'll have to pull resources just to confirm that you are not Sebastian. So search in pairs. They also say they have no reason to believe any foul play was involved, at least just yet, and the parents are fully cooperating. Live in Sumner County, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Now, News 2 at 5.
Thank you, Mark. An urgent plea for information as the desperate search for a missing Sumner County boy intensifies. Unfortunately, there is still no sign of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, despite exhaustive efforts. We've been covering this massive search since February 26th, when Sebastian was last seen at his home in Hendersonville. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. News 2's Tori Gessner is joining us live, and Tori, officials now say they're still treating this as if Sebastian just got up and walked away from his house.
Haley, Bob, officials say there have been absolutely no signs of foul play and really no signs of Sebastian Rogers at all. No confirmed sightings of him on any surveillance camera or doorbell camera, and first responders haven't found any evidence in the woods or water or even his home, which they say they have searched 10 times. Now today they focused on around the area because they say Sebastian is drawn to water. Investigators are also asking the community to search their properties and do so in pairs so they don't have to use resources to confirm a person walking around alone isn't Sebastian. People in the community say they've all been impacted by this situation. They add students at Sebastian's school are also worried. Even strangers who live nearby say the situation has kept them up at night, especially because of the terrain here.
I see it's so many woods and so much water here in Hendersonville. It's so much water and so many woods. From like Glenbrook on, it's solid woods, and you're like, there's so many places. And then we passed by T.W. Hunter up here, and they had the new drain ditches laying out there. I thought, oh God, wonder if they searched them, you know? Wonder if they looked in there to see if maybe he was in one of them trying to stay warm, get the wind off of him. It's just too many places he could be, and it's scary.
Now, the one thing investigators did say they found were tracks leading away from Sebastian's home, but they say that lead fell up short. Now, it's unclear how long they'll be out here tonight, but of course, we'll keep you updated once we know. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Still no leads after 4 days of searching for a missing Sumner County teenager with autism. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was last seen February 26th at his home in Hendersonville. Despite the lack of clues, investigators say there isn't any indication of foul play, and the parents are cooperating.
News 2's Tori Gessner joins us live tonight with what we've learned today. Tori?
Well, Haley, Bob, just within the past 45 minutes, we saw this parking lot practically empty out and a bunch of first responders rushed off in that direction. We had another News 2 crew follow them, but we haven't seen them since, so we're still trying to figure out exactly what is happening. But we do have calls out trying to check and see to learn more. But as far as we know, there have been no signs of Sebastian Rogers. Now, if you take a look at this video, it'll show you some maps showing just how much ground first responders have covered so far. In just the first 2 days alone, ground crews walked more than 2,000 miles. They're pulling out all the stops using helicopters, drones, ATVs, horses, canines. So far, there has been no confirmed sighting of Sebastian on any neighbor or business surveillance video or doorbell camera. Canines haven't picked up a scent either. All that search crews have found are some footprints leading away from Sebastian's house, but they say they led them nowhere. People who live in the area say the situation has devastated the community and Sebastian's peers at his school. It seems to be taking a toll on everyone involved.
The searchers looked exhausted yesterday. You could see the stress in their face. You could see the pain in their face, and everybody wants to help. But what do you do to help? You don't want to mess up anything either, you know, but you just got to do what you got to do, and you just pray about it. And I just think that God will watch over him, whatever happens.
Now, investigators are asking people who live in Sumner County and even neighboring counties like Davidson and Robertson to search their own properties, but do so in pairs. That way, if they see a single person walking around, they don't have to waste resources to confirm it's not Sebastian. Unclear how long search crews will be out here, but we'll keep you updated tonight on News 2 at 10. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Tonight, search crews are not giving up. We are closing in on 5 days since anyone has seen missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers.
Law enforcement in Sumner County underlying the urgency of the situation today. We've had days of cold, and Sebastian is without his medication. News 2's Sarah Smith is live tonight in Hendersonville, where local leaders are pleading for information. Sarah?
Bob, first responders here have been working around the clock trying to find Sebastian. We're also told he's been without his medication for days. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says they're not giving up on the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers.
If a searcher finds something, they mark it. We send a detective or detectives to that scene or to that area. And if they find evidence, we haven't found any evidence. But if they find something that they think is substantial, CID investigates it.
Sebastian is autistic. Investigators think he walked away from his home off Stafford Court early Monday morning. The search including helicopters, canines, and boats. Sebastian's family not speaking to the media.
The family's been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there's a child missing that needs our help.
Rain and cold temperatures still complicating the situation. Officers asking you to keep checking your home security cameras for any sign of Sebastian.
We have had several clips that have come in. Several of them we've been able to dispel that's not Sebastian on that clip. We are still working every lead that comes in.
Deputies also wanting you to go in groups to check your property because if you get hurt, they say it will cut back on resources to find Sebastian.
If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us.
We want you to look at creeks. We want you to look at ponds. And if you look at a pond, look for foot tracks around the pond.
Students here in Sumner County are asked to wear green tomorrow in honor of Sebastian. Live in Hendersonville, Sarah Smith, News 2.
And we are following another breaking story from Sumner County this morning. This one includes search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Crews have covered thousands of miles in 4 previous days of searching. Peyton Kennedy is live following the search at the command post in Hendersonville.
Yeah, Nikki, and a challenge this morning with multiple breaking stories here in the county and officers having to divert their attention between those 2 searches. In this case, it is certainly expanding this morning as there are no leads or evidence pieces yet in this investigation. So residents are now asked to join in if they are willing and able and check their property in pairs. You are asked to continue looking at security cameras, your trail cameras. If you notice anything on your property that has been moved, absolutely report that. Sebastian is 5'5", 120 pounds. We're told he has autism and was last seen in a black sweatsuit. Now, as for the local and state agencies, today we're told they're expanding their grid to the west. A big focus yesterday was on bodies of water. The sheriff deputy says they drained a pond to the east of Sebastian's house and unfortunately found nothing. Now, all of this is on top of the dive teams, horses, multiple aircrafts and drones, dogs, and 200 officials on the ground. Each one of their steps is tracked, and within the first 2 days of searching, we're told they walked over 2,000 miles. We've also seen an outpouring of support from local churches and community groups hosting prayer vigils and donating food to the first responders here at the command post. Today, all Sumner County students and staff are encouraged to wear green to school. It's Sebastian's favorite color. Live in Hendersonville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
It's just a mystery. Once the search was upgraded to an Amber Alert, everyone in Middle Tennessee received alerts to the phone from the TBI. It was a link, though, that alert took straight to a TBI's Facebook page, to the surprise of some. So we asked the TBI why they decided to push critical information to a specific social media site. A spokesperson said the TBI team has discussed ways to handle the influx of web traffic that follows these cell phone alerts, and at this time they felt the best way is to go through the Facebook page as an option. They say you don't have to have an active Facebook profile to view the alert. The TBI acknowledges it's not convenient for everyone because that login pops up, but it's meant to be one of many notification options going out. The TBI coordinates with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which is responsible for the phone alerts. So the search for Sebastian will continue, and we will continue our reports updating you every half hour on Good Morning Nashville or when warranted. You can also find more updates and photos at WKRN.com when we're not on air.
Day 5 and the search press is on for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. From the FBI to the TBI, local agencies from Sumner County and beyond, the search is nonstop. Peyton Kennedy has been at the command post in Hendersonville all morning now. She's joining us live with the very latest on their efforts. Peyton.
And Nikela, unfortunately this morning we have not been told of any leads or pieces of evidence, but we have been keeping track of the activity here at the command post and beyond. So earlier this morning around 8:30 a.m. we were able to join members of the Greenbrier Fire Department as they searched a wooded area on foot. It's about 3 miles south of this command post. So like all of the agencies that are searching on foot, they turned on their tracking devices so they can maintain a map of what has and what hasn't been investigated. Then around 10 a.m. we were led to some activity outside Sebastian's home. The EMA, police, plus ATVs and a raft were all parked there, and a dog was sniffing around the property. No word as to what exactly they were looking for or why that specific equipment was there. But beyond that, there is clear support from surrounding county agencies as well and community members who are encouraged to search their property in pairs. Now, as well as that, if you could continue checking your surveillance and trail cameras, they appreciate it. And if you have any information, you can pass it along to the Sheriff's Department or to the TBI. Live in Hendersonville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
Middle Tennessee is coming together to help the first responders who are searching for Sebastian. Live Love Nashville will be providing dinner tonight for those crews. Nearly 100 people will be fed. They say anyone can help with their funds by donating to their Venmo account. Sumner County students were asked to wear green to school today in honor of Sebastian as the search continues for him. We'll provide updates throughout the day. You can find additional updates and photos online at WKRN.com. The search continues this morning for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers in Sumner County. Peyton Kennedy has been at the command post in Hendersonville all morning long. She's live there now with an update on day 5 of the search. Peyton.
The past 5 days have been a non-stop effort, from talks with the FBI to the TBI and local law enforcement agencies on the ground. This really has been a massive response. And while we unfortunately have not received any official update today in terms of leads or evidence, we've been keeping track of activity here at the command post and beyond. Most recently, around 10 a.m., the Emergency Management Agency as well as police brought a number of trucks, an ATV, a raft outside of Sebastian's home, as well as a dog that was sniffing around the property. It was unclear why they returned to the home with those specific supplies. Earlier in the morning, we were able to join members of the Greenbrier Fire Department as they went out to search on foot. They were working through a wooded area behind the command post about 3 miles south. They also turned on their tracking devices so they can maintain a map of what has and what hasn't been investigated. Otherwise, we do know that the first responders here are going to be receiving a warm meal tonight, courtesy of donations from Live Love Nashville. Community is encouraged to continue checking their property in pairs, continue checking their surveillance footage, send any of that, if it has information, over to the Sheriff's Office or to the TBI. Live in Hendersonville, Peyton Kennedy.
One longtime business owner whose restaurant is just a half mile from where Sebastian lives says he has never seen this large of a response in his several decades in that community.
Well, they're all pulling in the same direction. You know, that's a big thing. Is in our country and the community and local government is all split on anything you discuss, except this. And they're not split on this. They're all put forth effort to find them, and hope everything turns out for the best.
As the search for Sebastian continues, we will provide updates as we get more information. You can also find additional updates and photos online at WKRN.com.
Thank you for joining us for News 2 at 3. I'm Mark Kelly. Bloodhounds, scuba gear, all being used on now day 5 of the search for the missing 15-year-old boy with autism from Sumner County. Sebastian Rogers was last seen early Monday morning at his home in Hendersonville. Now, investigators say there has been no sign of him since. News 2's Tori Gessner joins us live with where first responders were focusing their efforts throughout the day today. Tori?
Well, Mark, early this morning, there was some activity at Sebastian Rogers' home. We saw a bloodhound sniffing around the property, and then we saw some crews putting on some wetsuits with oxygen tanks. But it's not clear why they returned to the home or why they were using that equipment. But you can see from this video, investigators are going to great lengths to find Sebastian. People in the neighborhood say search crews have been out every day, also using helicopters, drones, ATVs, horses, and canines. Yesterday, we were told dive crews drained a pond to the east of Sebastian's home, but found nothing. Today, they're fanning out and focusing west of their original search grid. They have 200 people on the ground, and they are begging neighbors to search their own properties morning and night in pairs so they don't mistake a person by themselves for Sebastian. People who live near the boy's home have been following those orders, and they say they are hoping for the best.
It's just heartbreaking and sad and hard to believe that no one's laid eyes on him, but surely there's a reason behind it. Hopefully he is tucked away safe, and while he may be scared, at least is unharmed and warm.
Now, so far today, we have not received an update from law enforcement. The first time in all of the 5-day search that this has happened. But we were told yesterday Sebastian's parents have been fully cooperating, and there is no reason to believe there was any foul play. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
And it is day 5 in that search to find a missing 15-year-old boy with autism from Sumner County. Investigators are moving their search efforts west. Thank you for joining us for News 2 at 4. I'm Mark Kelly. Sebastian Rogers hasn't been seen since February 26, believed to have walked away from his home in Hendersonville. Now, in the first 2 days of their search, ground crews walked more than 2,000 miles in 48 hours. News 2's Tori Gessner joins us live to explain what she saw today. Tori?
Well, Mark, earlier this morning, we saw investigators outside and around Sebastian Rogers' home. One person had a bloodhound sniffing around the property. Other people were in wetsuits with oxygen tanks, but it's unclear exactly what they were doing or why they were using that equipment, since we've not received an update from law enforcement. But what we do know is Franklin Police have now joined the search efforts. A spokesperson for Franklin Police says the Sumner County Sheriff's Office asked them to lend a hand yesterday. So they brought out their dive team, which we saw in Sebastian's neighborhood. At last check, investigators say there have been no confirmed sightings of Sebastian on any surveillance cameras or doorbell video. The Sumner County Sheriff and EMA director say a canine did get a scent track last night, but it led to nothing. Experts with Autism Tennessee say it's common for autistic children to wander away from their caregivers, either because they're trying to escape something like a sensory overload, or they're going towards something they're drawn to.
As far as the possibilities, we know with this particular individual, with Sebastian, that from his mom, he likes to hide. He likes confined spaces, which tells me that he might be someone who enjoys sensory input, tight hugs, weight blankets, things like that. It's just a way that his body, his nervous system calms down. And so it could be that he's looking for that same type of environment to help keep him calm in this situation. Of course, we don't know that for sure. But it leads me to think that that could be a factor.
Now, we've been told that Sebastian was drawn to water, so that's where investigators focused their efforts yesterday, even draining a pond that's east of Sebastian's home. But of course, it came up with no leads there. Investigators are still asking neighbors to search property in pairs to make sure they don't see a single person and confuse it with Sebastian. Sebastian's family is asking for privacy, but investigators say they have been fully cooperative. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Tori, thank you so much. And as the search for Sebastian continues into this weekend, we're going to continue our coverage, bringing you updates every hour here on News 2. You could also find additional updates and photos online at WKRN.com.
People have been searching every day, every night, nonstop, 24 hours around the clock, it seems like.
Neighbors, friends, and local and state agencies are going to extensive lengths to find a missing 15-year-old in Sumner County. Welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Haley Wilkes. It has been 5 days since police say Sebastian Rogers seemingly walked away from his Hendersonville home. Investigators say there has been no sign or sighting of him since. News 2's Tori Gessner is joining us live tonight after watching investigators' efforts all day in this search. Tori.
Well, Haley, new agencies have now joined in on this effort, including Franklin Police's dive team and the Greenbrier Fire Department. Now, we have not received any update from law enforcement at any time today, but we have been able to keep an eye on what investigators have been doing today. Now, earlier this morning, there were crews around Sebastian Rogers' home. A bloodhound was sniffing around the area, and a dive crew put on wetsuits with oxygen tanks. It's unclear why they returned to that area, though. We do know search crews moved their efforts west of the original search grid today. Yesterday, they focused on bodies of water, even draining a pond east of Sebastian's home. 200 people have been on the ground each day, and many are flying helicopters and drones in the air. Police are asking neighbors to not join in on this search, but they should check their own properties every morning and night in pairs. Residents have been looking for any disturbances and have been checking small spaces where a child may hide on their property. Sebastian's neighbors say the whole community has been worried.
I know me personally, I have kids that are in elementary school and middle school. Every day we drive by the command center. My kindergartner says, "Mommy, have they found him?" And I say no. And she says, "It makes me sad, Mommy. He's probably really hungry." And I said, "I know, they're still looking." And it's a daily thing. So I can only hope for the best so that I can give her a positive outcome.
At last check, Sebastian has not been seen on any surveillance camera or doorbell video. Neighbors are holding regular vigils for him, prayer vigils, that is. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Haley Wilkes. Investigators are using every tool they have on the 5th day of searching for a 15-year-old boy with autism in Sumner County. Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 26th at his home in Hendersonville, where he is believed to have walked away from. The quest to find him has been extensive. News 2's Tori Gessner is joining us live from the command center to explain what tools investigators have used today. Tori.
Well, Haley, we know investigators have shifted their search efforts to the west of the original search grid. We also noticed some activity around Sebastian Rogers' home today. There was a bloodhound sniffing around the property and also crews in wetsuits with oxygen tanks. But since we've had no update from law enforcement at all today, it's unclear what they were doing there or why. Now, we do know, despite the 5-day search, investigators say there have been no confirmed sightings of Sebastian on surveillance cameras or doorbell video, and there's been no evidence found in the woods or bodies of water. First responders are still asking neighbors to only search their own properties in pairs. They're encouraged to look in places where a child might hide, like under tarps, in sheds, inside boats. One woman on the board for Autism Tennessee says autistic children often leave their caretakers to get away from certain stimuli or to go towards something they're drawn to. She knows firsthand because she's an autistic self-advocate.
It's so easy to put myself in that person's shoes, to say, like, I was young and I was not an eloper, but I understand the impulse and the feeling. And so, yeah, I've just been sort of feeling very sick and afraid. And I want a good outcome, but there's no guarantee.
Now, law enforcement have reiterated that their parents have been fully cooperative and there's no reason to believe any foul play. No word on when the search or how it will work over the weekend. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Thank you, Tori. Tonight, Sumner County residents are coming together wearing green in support of Sebastian Rogers. This was spearheaded by the Facebook group Finding Sebastian Rogers, which has nearly 3,000 members. Green is believed to be Sebastian's favorite color. That's what led to this idea. News 2 spoke with two mothers who say watching the search for Sebastian has been heartbreaking. But by wearing the color green, they just hope Sebastian knows how much he's loved.
I told her that. She said, "Mommy, another day. They didn't find him yet." And I was like, "Yeah, baby, another day." And she's more emotional than I am. So she almost cried. But she was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll do it. And I'll tell all my friends at school."
And a couple of the kids in my class came in wearing it. And one of the little girls, I was like, "Oh, I love your green." And she's like, "My mommy told me today that we are wearing green because Sebastian is still missing."
Now, if you wore green today, you can share your photos with us on Pix, P-I-X, at WKRN.com. Email those in. Bloodhounds and scuba gear being used on day 5 of the search for a missing autistic 15-year-old boy from Sumner County. Good evening and welcome to News 2 Now at 10. I'm Haley Wilkes. Sebastian Rogers was last seen early Monday morning at his home in Hendersonville, and there's been no sign of him since. News 2's Sarah Smith is joining us live tonight from Sumner County with more on that search. Sarah.
Haley, it's cold and wet out here, but first responders say they're not giving up in finding Sebastian, and neither are his friends. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers still missing after 5 days. The community desperate for answers. Rebecca Goodard's son is in Sebastian's class at Beach High School.
Being a mom of children with special needs and autism and the cognitive impairment and things, it's like I'm living my worst nightmare. I'm watching it unfold.
Investigators looking for Sebastian around the clock using canines, drones, and helicopters. Rebecca and other neighbors searching too.
I took Monday off work and I looked in every outbuilding, every creepy barn and chicken coop that I've ever seen from a road in this area.
Sebastian's parents not talking to the media. Deputies say, though, that they are cooperating. Rebecca says she's only met them at school a few times.
I do drop my kids off at their classroom, and so I see him and say hello to him, and he's a very sweet, kind, seems to be a happy boy.
Crews say they've collectively searched thousands of miles for Sebastian. People here not wanting to rest until he's home safe.
I think no matter what happens in Sumner County with this, Sumner County needs a lot of prayer and comfort right now because it's been a big week.
Right now, deputies aren't asking for volunteers, but what they say that you can do is check out your home security cameras. Live in Hendersonville, Sarah Smith, News 2.
It's been nearly 6 days since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing from his home in Hendersonville. And this morning, the search continues. Our Jaxie Pigeon joins us live from the command center this morning with the latest on the search efforts. Jaxie.
Well, Blake, despite the thousands of miles that officials have searched, there still has been no sighting of Sebastian Rogers. But folks here in Sumner County are not giving up hope. It's been an extensive and all-hands-on-deck effort. Anything from helicopters to bloodhounds to dive teams and more. Sebastian is 5'5" and weighs 120 pounds with dirty blonde hair. He's most likely wearing a black sweatsuit and glasses. Now, there is an active Amber Alert for the teen with autism. Officials say it was issued due to the cold and rainy weather, as well as how long he's been missing, especially without his medications. Volunteers and community members are also pitching in, hoping that something positive comes out of this horrifying situation.
Being a mom of children with special needs and autism and the cognitive impairment and things, it's like I'm living my worst nightmare. I'm watching it unfold. I think no matter what happens in Sumner County with this, Sumner County needs a lot of prayer and comfort right now because it's been a big week.
Now, first responders are still asking those who live in the Beach High School area to check their properties in pairs, look under any confined spaces like garages, decks, etc. Blake.
Alrighty, Jaxie, before you go, you've been on the ground there from the very beginning of this search, and we were talking about it earlier this morning, but you've really seen people come from all over the state to help in this search.
That's right. On day one, I mean, there were agencies coming together for sure. I'd say half a dozen, but now we're over a dozen. And like I said, I saw people as far as Collierville coming in, and that's over 3 hours away. So definitely everyone coming in to help find Sebastian Rogers and really hoping for that positive outcome and doing everything they can, hopefully, to find him in good standing. Blake.
Our thanks to Jaxie Pigeon for that live report there in Sumner County this morning.
Breaking news this afternoon. Reward money is now offered for information to find Sebastian Rogers. Welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Kenley Hargett. It's been 6 days since the 15-year-old went missing from his home in Hendersonville. Nikki McGee has the latest for us from the command center right now. Nikki, what can you tell us?
Well, Kinley, like you just said, we are entering into the 6th day of the search, and I can tell you search efforts are still in full force and well underway, as you can see right here around me. Now, we do have 2 new pieces of information that I do want to share with you this afternoon. As Kinley just mentioned, there is now a $3,000 reward set up for information in this case. We're told that this money comes from Nashville area business owners wanting to rally around these search efforts. Also, on top of that, we also have new information from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. As you know, if you live in the area, you've been asked to review any surveillance footage you may have. But now we have a little bit closer of a timeline that they want you to review. They're asking you to review those camera footage feeds from Sunday afternoon through Monday morning and double check those feeds. Also said before, check your property, look through any tarps, any possible areas where Sebastian could be. They are really trying to find information in this case. Of course, if you do have any information, you're asked to call either TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND or the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Reporting live in Sumner County, I'm Nikki McGee, News 2.
As the search for Sebastian continues, we'll continue our coverage providing updates in each newscast. You can also find additional updates and photos online at WKRN.com. The search for missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers continues to intensify. Welcome to News 2 at 10. I'm Kenley Hargett. Nashville area business owners are pledging at least a $3,000 reward for information that will help investigators find Sebastian. News 2's Nikki McGee shares their continued search efforts.
Well, the sun has now set on the 6th day of search efforts, and emergency crews are growing more and more anxious to find answers. They tell me today they hope to have some sort of new information with people being off on the weekends, able to more thoroughly search their properties. However, we did learn 2 new developments in this case today. One, there is now a $3,000 reward in place for information on this case. The other being the Sumner County Sheriff's Office giving us a more specific window of time when they want neighbors to review their footage.
We expect to find people, so we don't expect to not be able to find that child or that parent and Sebastian in this case.
The search continues for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Saturday, roughly 300 people out looking for him from sunrise to sunset.
We had really hoped that today, since everybody or a lot of people will be at home during the daytime hours where they hadn't been all week, that they would have an opportunity to search their property, search their farms. There's a lot of farmland around here.
Emergency officials ask everyone around the area to especially check creeks and streams that Sebastian may have been drawn to. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office also honing in on possibilities, asking residents to check surveillance and trail cameras, focusing on the afternoon of Sunday, February 25th through Monday morning, the 26th. Adding that even the smallest detail or movement could be key to locating Sebastian.
We've got some cave specialists that are hitting caves and that we've got marked, and we're going through that. We actually have some more canine teams, some different dogs coming in to work with our canine.
Nashville area business owners have pledged a minimum $3,000 reward for information that aids in the investigation.
What does keep you guys going through these long search days?
Oh, the drive to find him.
Search efforts will resume tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and right now they say they have plenty of people to go out and search. However, how you can help is continuing to check your property both morning and evening, looking under tarps, in barns, in sheds, just anywhere Sebastian could be. Of course, if you have any information in this case, you're asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND or the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. In Hendersonville, I'm Nikki McGee, News 2. too.
As the search for Sebastian continues, we'll continue our coverage providing updates in each newscast. You can also find additional updates and photos online at WKRN.com.
All right, our top story this half hour. It's been nearly 1 week since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing over in Sumner County. Our Jaxie Pigeon live at the command center this morning with the very latest developments. And Jaxie, we understand reward money is now on the table.
That's right, Blake. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office tells us that a group of local investors invested a minimum of $3,000 toward any information that would help investigators in finding Sebastian Rogers. I now want to bring in EMA Director with Sumner County, Ken Widener. Ken, as we near this week-long search effort, where are you focusing starting today?
Well, we keep expanding, so we've expanded west and we're expanding north. We just keep expanding the search area, and we're bringing different teams in. Yesterday we had a group from East Tennessee come in. They're mountainous experts and they do caves, and so we've had any cave that we've marked, we've had them in those caves. The city of Gallatin has done all the storm drains in the area with cameras, so we keep expanding and just throwing everything that we can at it to try to get him located.
In terms of the search, you said you've been expanding. About how much ground have you covered?
We're close to 5 miles now. Now, the further south you go towards Hendersonville, we get into the city, and we would expect he would be located or seen if he were in the city. And we've gone into the city, sort of in the fringe, in the more not as urban areas of some. But we've been all the way to the lake on the streams that travel to the lake. We've been to the lake.
And you have over 300 searchers here. Yesterday
we had 330 on the ground, and we'll run the numbers later today on how many come in today, and yeah, we run that as the day goes on.
And 43 years in law enforcement, you told me. What does this experience look like in terms of people coming together to help out in this one mission to find Sebastian Rogers?
Well, one thing about Tennessee and the Southeast is we're always going to have people that want to help, and we get calls from across the state for people that want to come in and help us. And you know, the thing that we've got to do is be able to manage that. So we track everybody that's on the ground. The first 2 days we did 2,000 miles of people walking. And we haven't run those numbers for the entire duration of this operation, but yeah, it's great, and to be able to call in specialized groups that do the things that we can't do is really good.
And what keeps you going as you near like this? You're keeping going after this week just to find Sebastian Rogers. How do you keep going, you and your team?
Oh, just the drive to find him. We'll go talk to the parents in a little while, and every morning we sit and talk to them. You know, we want to do everything for them and for Sebastian to get him located.
Thank you so much, Ken. If you do have any information, you're asked to reach out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI. Also check those cameras, like they said, Sunday to Monday, Sunday afternoon to Monday morning. For now, live in Hendersonville, Jaxie Pigeon, back to you.
All right, thanks to Jaxie for that live interview there. Really good information. You can hear they're expanding their search efforts this morning, continuing to expand, searching every possible area where Sebastian could be, but also relying on the community to check those security cameras and to check your yards. And if you are searching, only search in pairs. So as we continue to learn any new information about this story, we will first pass that along to you at WKRN.com. It's been nearly 6 days since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing from his home in Hendersonville. And this morning, the search efforts continue. Our Jaxie Pigeon joins us live from the command center this morning with the very latest. Jaxie, what are we learning this morning?
Well, Blake, so far there have been no confirmed sightings despite the thousands of miles that officials have been looking. But folks in Sumner County here, as you can tell behind me, are not giving up hope. There's been an extensive search, lots of aid, anything from helicopters to bloodhounds to dive teams and more. Sebastian is 5'5", weighs 120 pounds with dirty blonde hair. He's most likely wearing a black sweatsuit and glasses. Now, there is an active Amber Alert for the teen with autism. Officials say it was issued due to the cold and rainy weather, as well as how long he's been missing, especially without his medications. Volunteers and community members are also pitching in, hoping that something positive comes out of this horrifying situation.
Being a mom of children with special needs and autism and the cognitive impairment and things. It's like I'm living my worst nightmare. I'm watching it unfold. I think no matter what happens in Sumner County with this, Sumner County needs a lot of prayer and comfort right now, because it's been a big week.
And first responders are only asking people in the Beach High School area to look in their backyards, anywhere a child may hide, garages, overpasses, anything to find Sebastian. Blake.
All righty, Jaxie, before you go, we've been talking about this all morning. You've been on the ground there since the very beginning of this search effort, and people really are coming from all over Middle Tennessee to help out in this search.
Definitely, and as it got brighter outside, you can see a lot more people coming in. I mean, I've seen Knox County and as far as Collierville, so 3 hours away. Everyone, it's all hands on deck, like I said, trying to find and hopefully get Sebastian home safely. But live in Hendersonville, Jaxie Pigeon, News 2.
All right, turning now to our top story this half hour. Officials have now reached the 1-week mark in their search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. And we've now learned this morning a $3,000 reward is on the table for any information in this case. Our Jaxie Pigeon live at the command center for us this morning. And Jaxie, you've been speaking to officials all morning with the latest updates in this case.
Well, Blake, over the last 6 days, they have searched over 5 miles, and today they are continuing to expand those efforts. Numerous agencies have stepped in to help out in this search. The most recent addition, cave researchers. Officials say no place is exempt from where Sebastian may be. As a teen with autism, they say he likes to get into small spaces and hide. They suggest those who live nearby check in, around, and under all possible areas, including any creeks and streams, as it's common for children with autism to be drawn to bodies of water. Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener says his crews are keeping the hope alive and giving it their all to locate Sebastian.
We're close to 5 miles now. Now, the further south you go towards Hendersonville, we get into the city, and we would expect he would be located or seen if he were in the city. And we've gone into the city, sort of in the fringe, in the more not as urban areas of Henderson, but we've been all the way to the lake on the streams that travel to the lake. We've been to the lake. Just the drive to find him. We'll go talk to the plow, and every morning we sit and talk to them. We want to do everything for them and for Sebastian to get him located.
Now, for those who live in the Beach High School area, officials are asking you to check any surveillance or trail cameras starting Sunday afternoon, the 25th of February, to Monday morning, the 26th of February. They say anything that you could find on those cameras could be key to finding Sebastian. If you do know anything about his location or where he may be, you're asked to reach out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI. For now, in Hendersonville, Jaxie Pigeon, News 2.
The search for missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers continues as we reach day 7. Welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Kinley Hargett. National Guard troops are on the ground right now to help find him. News 2's Nikki McGee is live from Sumner County to tell us the latest. Nikki?
Well, Kinley, search efforts are starting to wrap up on this day 7 of the search. As you can see, the sun is starting to go down. That's when these searchers come in. They'll be back out around 7 a.m. this morning. And today we saw cave specialists out here as well as canines. Also, I want to show you to the side of me. You can see the National Guard members Kinley just mentioned. They've been going door to door trying to raise awareness and ask anyone if they've seen anything. Also today, we're told that DOC guards joined search efforts. Now, remember, you are asked to check every inch of your property day and night for any signs of Sebastian. You remember the Sumner County Sheriff's Office said leave no rock unturned, really focusing on areas like barns and tarps, just anywhere he could be. And yesterday we also told you that they're asking residents to review camera footage, especially between Sunday afternoon and Monday morning. Also, we learned today that the reward for information in this case has been raised to $3,500. Again, that's from Nashville area business owners. Also, of course, today as we reach day 7, we're seeing lots of food donations working to keep these crews going as they're working tirelessly day and night. Here's more on some of those volunteers working to help out with these efforts.
Just need to make sure that they are able to sustain while they're out in conditions that aren't just walking down the road. They're out in the woods, they're out in the creeks. Some have been in caves. So you just want to make sure that they're ready to go out there for that.
And today they estimate they've fed between 250 to 300 volunteers out here searching. Remember, if you have any information about Sebastian's whereabouts, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI. Reporting live in Sumner County, Nikki McGee, News 2.
As the search for Sebastian continues, we'll continue our coverage, providing updates in each newscast. You can also find additional updates and photos online at WKRN.com. The frantic search continues for a missing Sumner County 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 10. I'm Kenley Hargett. He was reported missing last Monday. News 2's Nikki McGee has more on efforts to find Sebastian as we approach the 1-week mark.
Well, crews have officially wrapped up for day 7 of the search, and tomorrow officially marks 1 week since Sebastian Rogers went missing. Earlier this evening, I did speak with Sumner County Chief Deputy Eric Craddock. He tells me there's nothing new to report after today's search. However, he does tell me that Sebastian's parents have remained cooperative through this entire process. Tomorrow, crews are ready to get started once again at 7 a.m. and continue their search.
Looking at all the cameras, we're constantly searching. In our property, we have a new addition on the back of the house. We're searching there every day. I know the neighbors are. Everybody's kind of walking up and down the streets, looking everywhere we can.
Hendersonville neighbors say for the past week, the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers has laid heavy on their hearts. And it's a community effort trying to bring him home.
It's extremely sad. I don't know the family, but I know that everybody's working together and trying to, locate anything they can find about him.
Elizabeth Young grew up in the area and describes the caves and dense woods behind her property, meaning plenty of hiding spots. But Sunday, 250 to 300 people continue to search through those tough areas, including cave specialists from East Tennessee and the National Guard going door to door asking to search properties.
We like to try to do every 2 hours a hot meal because you just never know when they're going to be coming back in and then going back out again.
The Sumner County Fire Buffs nonprofit is still working to keep crews going, thanking Eat Hendersonville and Live Love Nashville, among others, for answering the call for food donations.
They're out in conditions that aren't just walking down the road. They're out in the woods, they're out in the creeks. So you just want to make sure that they're ready to go out there for that.
Sunday, Nashville area businesses bumped their reward money up to $3,500 for information to help find Sebastian. In the meantime, Young is one of the many area residents checking their properties day and night, putting their heart into helping bring Sebastian home.
I feel terrible for the family. My son's older, he's 19, so I can't imagine being in that situation.
Nikki McGee, News 2.
As the search for Sebastian continues, we'll continue our coverage, providing updates in each newscast. You can also find additional updates and photos online at WKRN.com. Please call the TBI or Sumner County Sheriff's Office with any information.
Last Monday morning, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was reported missing from his home in Hendersonville. Now, 1 week later, the nonstop search continues. Peyton Kennedy is live at the command post this morning on Long Hollow Pike with a look at those efforts.
And it's starting to pick back up again this morning. The EMA tells me they are expecting about 100 people to be on the ground today, continuing their search. And even more agencies joined in on this over the weekend, including the Tennessee National Guard. Now, they joined departments from Sumner and surrounding counties as well. Specialized forces have also been used this past week, including dive teams, and now mountainous experts who are searching caves. We're told by the EMA that they have walked thousands of miles throughout a 5-mile radius from Sebastian's home near Beach High School. That includes parts of Hendersonville's urban and rural areas. but there have been no signs of Sebastian, no tracks or surveillance footage. But residents are encouraged to continue searching their property and their cameras morning and night for any new developments. Sebastian's Amber Alert is still projected above the interstates, and now new billboards like this one just south of the Long Hollow Pike exit on I-65 show his photo and his description. An anonymous group of Nashville area business owners have pledged a minimum of $3,000 as a reward for information that leads to Sebastian. If you have any information, you can contact the Sheriff's Office or the TBI. Live in Hendersonville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
And let's go back to that lead story. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers last seen at his Hendersonville home on February 26. Investigators say there has been no sign of the boy ever since. Let's go back live. News 2's Tori Gessner covering the search efforts for days, and she joins us live to explain the reason behind their decision to start scaling back the search effort. Tori?
Well, Mark, first responders say they did not take this decision lightly, but they have literally exhausted every single resource they can think of to find Sebastian Rogers, and all of them have fallen short. Sumner County officials called a press conference earlier today to announce that they were scaling back, but they walked away before we could answer or ask any questions, rather. What we do know right now is Sumner County's emergency management director says today they have crews looking within a 0.3 of a mile radius from Sebastian's home. They already have searched this area 4 times, thinking maybe he would return. Throughout these 8 days of looking for Sebastian, investigators have used drones, fixed-wing airplanes, helicopters, ATVs, canines. They've searched on foot and horseback. They've drained a pond east of Sebastian's home and have even looked extensively inside storm drains. Investigators say they've thrown everything they can at this search.
If there was a resource we thought we could utilize to help locate Sebastian, we've used it. And we will continue to do so based on the leads that come in. The Sheriff's Office continues to urge families to check your properties, to check your cameras. No detail is too small.
Now you can see behind me the command center at the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department is pretty much cleared out, at least compared to days prior. They will still operate from this facility, but it won't be manned 24/7. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Tori, thank you. We're going to continue providing updates in each newscast. You could also find additional updates and photos at WKRN.com. Just make sure you call the TBI or Sumner County Sheriff's Office if you do have any new information. After 8 days of searching for a missing teenager with autism in Sumner County, crews are scaling back their efforts. Thank you for joining us for News 2 at 4. I'm Mark Kelly. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers reportedly walked away from his Hendersonville home February 26. News 2's Tori Gessner joins us live to explain what is next with this case. Tori?
Well, Mark, authorities are confident they have exhausted every single resource they can think of within these past 8 days, and all have fallen short, and that is why they are scaling back on these search efforts. They didn't mention by how much, though, and they walked away before we could ask them any questions during an earlier press conference. But you can see the command center they were operating out of has practically cleared out compared to days prior. Despite that, crews are not giving up just yet. They say they have no leads indicating that Sebastian has died. Today, they're focusing on a 0.3 of a mile radius from his home where he was last seen. Throughout these 8 days, we've seen dive crews with oxygen tanks around Sebastian's home. We've seen people searching on horseback, helicopters, drones, ATVs. Sumner County's EMA director says they've even searched the storm drain system with no sign of Sebastian. We've also seen how much this has impacted the community in Sumner County. People have come out to donate food and supplies to first responders, saying they appreciate all of their hard work. This morning, one road paving company came to deliver breakfast to the searchers.
All of our crews that are out paving roads all day are truly the kindest people that I know. So it happened very organically when we saw a need, and Sumner County Buffs was helping to. It was just natural that our team responded to that.
Investigators are still encouraging the community to send in tips. They say no piece of information is too small. They say this is also a transition from the ground search to the investigative side of things, but they didn't elaborate any further. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Tori, thank you. You can find additional updates on the search for Sebastian and photos at WKRN.com. And as Tori said, call the TBI or Sumner County Sheriff's Office if you have any new information.
At this time, the decision's been made to scale back on the ground search operations.
A Sumner County teen missing a week now, and authorities remain determined to find him. But as you heard, search efforts are being reduced with emphasis now on the investigation of the teen's disappearance. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was last seen at his Hendersonville home last Sunday, and search crews say there hasn't been a sign of him since. News 2's Tori Gessner is joining us live from outside the command center, which looks a lot different compared to this morning. Tori.
Yeah, Haley, Bob, the command center has practically cleared out compared to previous days. Investigators say they have no lead indicating that Sebastian Rogers is no longer alive, but they say they have exhausted every single resource that exists looking for him. Now, some crews today did spend the day looking for the 15-year-old, this time within a 0.3 of a mile radius from his home where he was last seen. Over the past 8 days, investigators have used ATVs, canines, helicopters, drones, and more to search for Sebastian. We didn't see any of those resources on the ground today. So many community members have offered to volunteer to help look for Sebastian, and even though authorities are scaling back their search, they still ask the public refrain from searching anywhere other than their own properties. They say they can't have volunteer searchers because it would be impossible for them to track and communicate with everyone. Investigators may be scaling back search-wise, but they say they'll now use some of those resources in another way.
Let me be clear that this does not diminish our commitment to finding Sebastian. This is simply us transitioning from the ground search to the investigative side. We are still committed to finding Sebastian and bringing him home safe. We have no leads, no details to indicate that Sebastian is not alive.
Now, we did have a lot of questions for Sumner County officials that we wanted to ask during that press conference, but they walked away before we could ask any question. They did say they do have a plan in place in case there is a possible sighting of Sebastian, but this command center will not be manned 24/7 anymore. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Today marks 1 week since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was last seen. The teen's disappearance from his Hendersonville home resulted in even the Tennessee National Guard getting involved in the search effort. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. First responders say they have exhausted every resource possible looking for him. News 2's Tori Gessner is joining us live tonight to explain how things will change moving forward. Tori.
Well, Haley, Bob, the command center is now cleared and it will no longer be manned 24/7. First responders do have a plan in place, they say, in case of a possible sighting of Sebastian Rogers. But like you said, they are entering into the investigation phase. What that investigation will look like or what it'll entail is unclear. First responders say they've exhausted every possible resource to find Sebastian, from draining a pond to searching the storm drain system to using helicopters, ATVs, canines, and help from multiple agencies around the state as far as Knox County. Search and rescue experts have advised authorities there really aren't any other tools they could use right now. Law enforcement is being tight-lipped about next steps, and they didn't take any questions during today's press conference. One thing they have reiterated, though, is that the decision to scale back does not mean they're giving up on bringing Sebastian home. Crews have been working tirelessly, and throughout it all, the community has shown its support by donating food and supplies.
Our heroic first responders, the entire search team that is out looking, our hearts go out to them. We support this community. We're rallying behind them, and anything that we can do to make a difference, we're happy to chip in.
Now, investigators are still encouraging the public to send in any tips. They say no information is too small. They're also encouraging you to keep searching your properties, but they say they still can't take any volunteer searchers to search outside of that because they say there's no way they could communicate or touch base and track them all. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
Today does mark 9 days since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing from his home in Hendersonville. After searching day in, day out for the teen, crews are now scaling efforts back. Jaxie Pigeon's here to explain what the changes will look like.
Neil, while their daily operations will appear significantly different, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office made clear they're not giving up. The command post no longer sits in front of the Shackle Island Fire Department, as you can see here. The first responders say a small crew is still on site. Officials say the decision to cut back efforts did not come lightly. However, they feel they've exhausted every resource possible in their search, using anything from helicopters to canines to cave searchers and more. So instead of having hundreds of searchers on the ground, they will now shift their focus to the investigation into the boy's disappearance.
Let me be clear that this does not diminish our commitment to finding Sebastian. This is simply us transitioning from the ground search to the investigative side. We are still committed to finding Sebastian and bringing him home safe. We have no leads, no details to indicate that Sebastian is not alive.
Investigators are asking the public to continue checking their properties and surveillance cameras to reach out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI with any information. Nikki.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Breaking news in the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office tells News 2 their investigators, assisted by Kentucky police, are searching the landfill in Kentucky where trash went from Sebastian's neighborhood. Kentucky State Police confirmed to News 2 investigators are still on the scene at the landfill in Hopkins County. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says there is no specific information that indicates evidence related to the search for Sebastian may be there. The Sheriff's Office says it's an investigative precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions. We'll, of course, continue to monitor this breaking story as we go throughout this newscast.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Breaking news in the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office tells News 2 their investigators, assisted Kentucky State Police, are searching the landfill in Kentucky where trash went from Sebastian's neighborhood. Kentucky State Police confirmed to News 2 investigators are still at the landfill in Hopkins County. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says there is no specific information that indicates evidence related to the search for Sebastian may be there. The Sheriff's Office says it is an investigative precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions. Let's show you a map of where the landfill is now. It's here on your screen. It's just outside Nortonville, south of Madisonville. Now, it's not clear how long those investigators will be there, but we do have a news crew on the way. Let's catch you up to the timeline this morning on the case. It was Monday morning, February 26, when the Sumner County Sheriff's Office first received a report about Sebastian being missing. A search scaled up quickly, and over the next week, hundreds of searchers combed the area near the family home in Hendersonville. The past Monday that just happened, the Sheriff's Office announced that search was being scaled back, but investigative leads would still be followed. That brings us to this morning, where the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and Kentucky State Police again confirm the search of a landfill in Hopkins County. News 2 will stay on top of all the developments around this case and bring you updates on air and online.
Thank you for joining us for News 2 at 3. I'm Mark Kelly. I want to start with that breaking news alert. The urgent search for that missing 15-year-old from Sumner County has crossed state lines. That Amber Alert was issued for Sebastian Rogers. That was early last week. Now, first responders and volunteers from all over the state answered that call to help in the search. Well, today, crews traveled to the Hopkins County Regional Landfill in Kentucky. News 2's Adam Mincer joins us live from that landfill with the latest from investigators. Adam.
Mark, this is as close as they're letting us get to the search right now. They've been searching for the past few hours. I've been here for about 2.5, 3 as the search has continued. There's been about 20 Sumner County officials that we can see searching the area behind me. There's a little bit of a white tent behind me, and that's where really the majority of the search has been concentrated so far today. Now, we're hearing from law enforcement that they're planning on continuing this search through the day into the night. Once it does start to get dark out, they tell us that they will reassess and see what they will be doing in the days to come. Now, they do say this is all precautionary. They got the search warrant this morning to look at the landfill because this is where Sebastian's trash most likely goes to, the region of Sumner County where he lives. All of the waste ends up here in White Plains, Kentucky. Mark.
All right, Adam, real quick, you've been out there all throughout the day today as investigators are at that landfill. Tell us more about what you have seen and heard throughout their search today.
This really seems, Mark, to have shut down the landfill, the majority of the landfill for now. There was a long line of dump trucks, probably about 20, 30 trucks long that I saw as I was getting closer to the area. A couple of the drivers told me that some of the main places that they drive through have been cut off. So this operation really at scale, expanding so far beyond Nashville and impacting people here in Kentucky now. I'm live in White Plains. Adam Mincer, News 2.
All right, Adam, thank you so much.
I've been out here in White Plains, Kentucky for about 2 hours, and the search has been going on throughout that time. I've seen a couple Sumner County vehicles go in and out, and dump trucks, some of those drivers are telling me that a lot of the regular spots where they drive in through are closed at the moment while this search is ongoing. So why are we here? This is where the trash from Sumner County ends up, according to the Sumner County Sheriff. So he got an order earlier this morning, a search warrant, I should say, to search this area, this landfill. They say right now it's just a precautionary measure to see if they can find any evidence. In White Plains, Kentucky, Adam Mincer, News 2.
Happening now, the search for Sebastian Rogers has led investigators to Kentucky. That's where they are searching a landfill this evening. The Hendersonville teenager has been missing more than a week now, and this has sparked that massive search covering thousands of miles around his home back here in Tennessee, too. News 2's Adam Mincer is in Kentucky at the Hopkins County Regional Landfill and brings us more on the search officials are calling a precautionary measure.
Mark, we've been out here for a few hours now as Sumner County officials continue to search this landfill for any sign of where Sebastian Rogers might be. Now, we learned this morning that Sumner County officials got a search warrant to get a better look at this landfill, and we've been here trying to look and see more about what's going on. We've seen about 20 people go up and down that hill. You can kind of see that white tarp over my shoulder. And about 20 people from Sumner County working and moving around trash, trying to get a better look about what's going on. Now, we're told that once the sun sets, they will start reassessing what they're going to do going into tomorrow and to see what their next steps might be. This comes as we learned yesterday that they were actually scaling back the search for Sebastian, as you said, Mark. Now, this is just a precautionary measure, according to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. They're just trying to rule out any other possibilities or questions that might be lingering as the search continues into its 10th day. Mark?
All right, Adam Mincer live in Kentucky for us this evening. Adam, thank you so much.
Now, News 2 at 5.
Thank you, Mark. A backhoe digs through mounds of trash at a Kentucky landfill. It's the latest effort in the search for a missing 15-year-old that is intensifying. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. Sebastian Rogers became the subject of an Amber Alert when he went missing last week. The TBI released new images of Sebastian today. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office traveled to the White Plains landfill in Hopkins County as a precautionary measure. They say the landfill is where trash from Sebastian's neighborhood was taken to. News 2's Adam Mincer is joining us live from that search site with an update. Adam.
Haley, Bob, we actually just heard from the Sumner County Sheriff telling us that they were looking in a very specific location. The location right behind me with that white tarp right there and a few people moving around. As you can see, there's more activity there now than there was previously in the day. It looks like they've resumed normal operations. Now, what's interesting about what the sheriff just told us is that they were looking this specific area because the trash from Sebastian's neighborhood got dumped here today. They spoke to the driver of the trash truck for that area, and he said that it was put in that space right behind us. I want to show you some drone footage. This is as close as they've let us get to the search, but we took this a little bit earlier. You could see about 20 people searching this concentrated area using an excavator to move around the trash to get a better idea of what's there. As you said, this is all precautionary. The sheriff's office says that they were doing this to rule out possible questions and options, telling them where Sebastian may be. The search has been ongoing for about 10 days now. They extensively searched the area in Sumner County around Sebastian's home, and before moving here, about an hour and a half away to White Plains, Kentucky. Now, as it's starting to get dark, we're waiting to learn more about what, if anything, they found. As a reminder, Sebastian is 5'5" with dirty blonde hair, last seen wearing a black shirt and black sweatpants. Bob, Haley?
Adam, this has been a day-long effort. What happens now?
At the last we heard from the sheriff, he says that now they look at what they found, look at what they learned, and then they reassess whether it's worth it to continue searching here or to move on to other evidence and to whatever else they can learn through other sources.
Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. Sumner County investigators continue searching for leads in the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers.
Today, search crews traveled to a landfill in Hopkins County, Kentucky. It's where trash from Sebastian's neighborhood goes for disposal.
The teen has been missing for 10 days now, and despite a large search effort, officials say there are still no signs of Sebastian. News 2's Adam Mincer is in landfill with more today. Adam.
Haley, we just heard a short while ago from the Sumner County Sheriff telling us more specifically that they spoke to the person who picked up Sebastian Rogers' trash that day he went missing 10 days ago, and that person told them exactly where that he dropped off the trash from that neighborhood. And that's where they've been searching all day. You could see over my left shoulder, there's a little bit of a tarp. It's in that area that we saw crews up until about 30 minutes ago. They've been here all day for about 6 or 8 hours total. I saw about 20 people. Let me actually show you a little bit earlier what happened. We have some drone video of that moment. There was about 20 or so people from Sumner County searching that area closely. And we saw some actually shifting through the trash using machinery to get through it as well. It seems like those people and those machinery are gone now. We spoke to the sheriff's office a short while ago. They say that their original plan was to keep searching until it gets dark. We're about at that time right now. And we have no updates if they found anything at all so far today. Now, as you were talking about, this is a precautionary move that they decided to make. They said that they're looking here just to make sure that they've covered all the possible questions and options about where Sebastian might be. But it seems as we go into an 11th day, the search will continue. Live in Hopkins County, Adam Mincer, News 2.
The search for a missing teenager leads investigators to a massive landfill across state lines. No one has seen 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers in a week and a half.
Crews spent last week scouring the area around his Hendersonville home before suspending the search to focus on the investigation. That investigation led them to Hopkins County Regional Landfill in Kentucky. Why? Here's News 2's Sarah Smith.
When the sun went down, investigators left to prepare for day 2 of the search here. This is where the trash from Sebastian's neighborhood in Shackle Island ends up. Sumner County deputies say Sebastian's parents claim he left home around midnight Monday, February 26th, just hours before sources say the trash was picked up there. Crews have stopped at almost nothing to find the teen. We've seen helicopters, horses, ATVs, as well as police going door to door near his neighborhood, searching. Still no sign of Sebastian. Earlier this week, TBI says they've scaled back the search to focus more on the investigation part of this. Deputies not saying exactly what led them here to this landfill. Investigators say his parents have been cooperating. His hometown is a tight-knit community shaken by his disappearance. In White Plains, Kentucky, Sarah Smith, News 2.
Sebastian Rogers, a 15 15-year-old in Sumner County has been missing now since February 26th. The massive search for him is taking a turn as a Kentucky landfill is now being investigated. Peyton Kennedy is live from TBI headquarters with an update on the search and the national interest in this case.
And Nikki, according to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, that landfill, which is in White Plains, Kentucky, is where the trash from Sebastian's neighborhood in the beach area of Hendersonville went on the day that he went missing. Now, the TBI says no specific information or leads took them to that landfill besides what I just mentioned, but this is more of a precautionary measure. Sheriff's Office says this is happening to eliminate possible options and questions. But unfortunately, there are more questions than answers since Sebastian was reported missing almost 2 weeks ago now. I spoke with a podcaster who focuses on sharing the details of missing persons cases in the South for some perspective on how these cases ripple through communities and beyond. Here's what she has learned from her experiences.
I think it's just really important to keep an open mind when you're tuned into social media and these Facebook groups, watching YouTube creators. I think sticking to the facts about what law enforcement has released, what we know to be factual information, is very important, and encouraging people to continue to share out the flyers and the factual information, and asking people, hey, if you see something, say something.
There are 2 new billboards up with Sebastian's information. They're up in the Nashville area, one by the Rivergate Mall, another along I-65 headed to Nashville from Hendersonville. Now, both of these average a total of about 330 views per day, and they are sponsored by people who want to bring Sebastian home. Live in Nashville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
Information this morning in the search for missing Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers. The sheriff's office says yesterday's search of a landfill did not give any new clues about where to find Sebastian. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says the landfill in White Plains is where trash went from Sebastian's neighborhood. The TBI says no specific information led them to this landfill. Rather, it's a precautionary measure. This morning, the sheriff's office says no leads or evidence pertaining to Sebastian's whereabouts were discovered during that search. Officials say the decision to search the landfill was to eliminate possible options and questions. We spoke with a podcaster who focuses on sharing missing persons cases in the South.
My channel is just about helping to find missing people and get their information circulating out there, because the more that people share the information that I put out there, it's going to put that in front of a whole new group of people that might not otherwise see it if they're not subscribed to my social media channels. And it really takes a community. It takes a village of people working together, because you never know when somebody's going to see something and say, hey, I recognize that child.
Through her platform, donors have sponsored 2 new billboards in Nashville sharing details about Sebastian, one headed to the Rivergate Mall and one headed to downtown Nashville along I-65 from Hendersonville.
The Sumner County Sheriff says the landfill search in the Sebastian Rogers case turned up nothing. Sebastian has been missing for 11 days now. The 15-year-old has autism, and investigators say he does not have his medication with him. News 2's Adam Mincer looks at what has law enforcement learned, and after searching the highs and lows all across state lines.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers must be somewhere.
We're doing everything we can. Every lead that we get, we're following.
Now, after a week and a half, Sumner Sheriff Sonny Weatherford put out a statement saying, while we had hoped for a different outcome, our commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. The sheriff's office began the search on Monday, February 26th.
I couldn't recall off the top of my head when the last search like this was.
Starting with a 2, then 5-mile radius search in the Shackle Island area. Law enforcement then expanded the radius exponentially. According to Sumner County officials, crews searched more than 2,000 miles on foot, went through Sebastian's home about 10 times, and deployed drones, helicopters, horses, search dogs, and dive teams.
We absolutely obliterated covering the area where Sebastian could have walked off to.
Chief Deputy Craddock repeating to reporters,
we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family has been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation.
TBI released a statement on the family's behalf, responding to comments online wondering why the family hasn't said much publicly. We have been requested by the family to let local media know that they are not in a position to speak to or be available to the media at this time. After that statement, the parents spoke, telling a podcast host Sebastian doesn't have his phone with him, hasn't been talking to anyone online, and doesn't have social media.
A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
And you did tell me that Sebastian is a runner.
He's not.
Then on day 8 of the search, Sumner County said it was time to scale back.
Let me be clear that this does not diminish our commitment to finding Sebastian.
Suddenly, the case moved north to a landfill in Hopkins County, Kentucky. The Sumner sheriff says that's where the trash for Sebastian's neighborhood ends up. And the person who picked up the trash the morning Sebastian went missing told them where he dropped off that load. While they said the search was precautionary, nothing came from it. Another dead end and a search entering its second week. In Nashville, Adam Mintzer, News 2.
We did ask the sheriff's office for updates on the case, specifically for the 911 calls or calls to the Sumner County area the day Sebastian disappeared, how many tips they have received, and whether they have any active leads in this case. And so far, we've yet to hear back.
Thank you. It's now been 11 days since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was last seen in Sumner County. The search for the teen has been extensive, covering thousands of miles around his home, even crossing state lines. Jaxie Pigeons has the latest for us this morning on this case.
Well, on Thursday, investigators headed to Kentucky. Officials say as a precautionary measure, they searched the Hopkins County Regional Landfill in White Plains, where trash from Sebastian's neighborhood went. Trained search teams and canines were used to try and find any evidence for the case, but it proved to be a dead end, with officials saying no leads were discovered. In a recent statement, Sumner County Sheriff Sonny Weatherford says, quote, "While we had hoped for a different outcome, our commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. We will continue to explore all available avenues and resources to bring closure to this case and provide answers to Sebastian's family and loved ones." Here's another look at Sebastian. He's 5'5" and weighs 120 pounds with dirty blonde hair. He's most likely wearing a black sweatsuit and glasses. So if you see Sebastian or know where he may be, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI. Blake.